All right, it's that time, guys. It is the late night stream for Saturday. Ooh, Saturday time. Let's see. Time for a new. Let's see. Let's say free $400 Pikachu. Let's also say hot cloud break. No, let's say cloud break close. And time to buy a new camera. Raising funds. All right. Live card shop. Let's hit save on that. All right, let's find out what Astral Radiance is going for these days. Astral Radiance booster box. So, how would you guys prefer it? Would you prefer a booster box break where somebody gets the whole box, or do you guys prefer it where we sell them by the pack? Looks like they'd be about $17 a pack. I say we do the break. Okay, it's a 15 spot break for the box. Wow, it's gone up over time. Weird, I feel like we did an 8 spot break not too long ago. Weird, that's crazy, man. Booster box break. You got it, man. All right, booster box break it is. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and share the stream. We are starting a little bit late. Sorry about that. On the weekend, there's no guarantees about the stream start time. We're going live for Saturday night. Oh. All right. Good. Very good. Let's hit refresh, see if there's anything. What's this? Okay, yeah, that was good. Just checking to see if anything important has occurred. Let's delete all these. All right. We got that last pack from Mr. Jonas. Okay, there's nobody in the queue right now, so there's no pre-orders. We had a really fantastic stream yesterday. There were like 30 subscribes. That's a lot of subscribes for one stream. And we are this close now to breaking 99,000, I think, right? Well, where are we? Where are we in terms of subscribes? Actually, let me hit this button right here, if you do not mind. Give me one moment. Click. Wow, it says 98,888 subscribers. Yeah, we are this close to 99,000. I can't believe how close we are, guys. We are really, really close to 100,000. It's a great time period. All right, so we are hosting a box break. Tell Team Rocket Grunt, because he's going to want in here. I know he will. The price of this box has gone up over time. There we are. That's a Astral Radiance. Of course, you do not have to open it. You can leave it sealed. It's going to be 40, 1, and 15. With no star spot, I suppose. Should there be a star spot? There should always be a star spot. Come on, that's the rule. I want to cheat and have no star spot. There is a star spot. Of course there is. That's the rule. There's got to be one. 40, 1, 16 star spot. All right, there it is. There it is. We have an Astral Radiance box break. It is alive. It's alive. What's going on with that box break? I'm trying to raise some cash now. We are going to go ahead and buy a fresh iPhone. There's a new iPhone out. I think it just came out. And so let's raise a little bit of money, and I'll get it over here, and hopefully the stream quality goes up if the camera quality is higher or whatever else might be good about it. It's a pretty good update from this phone. This phone, I think, is 3 to 4 years old. Might be 3 years. Actually, no, it might not be that old. I don't know how old this one is, but I know I skipped the last upgrade. My personal phone is really old. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying. I bought the Fusion Strike Gengar. Dustin says, I love all my children, except the one that sleeps. Celebrate with the new cam? I remember when it was just 15 to 20K. Crazy to see how far you've come, mister, says Tyler. Hey, what's up, Tyler? We used to have a lot of Tylers, remember that? Subscribing to you years ago was my best decision. Also love the community. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. What's the oldest slab on the table? The oldest slab? I don't know. What do you mean by oldest? Do you mean like the one that was printed the longest time ago? Or do you mean like the one that has been waiting to finish for the longest? Oh, mister, you need cash? Slabs, question mark? We will have slabs up on the table just like before. But what I've chosen is this box is now available as a break. It's a 16-spot box of Astral Radiance. If you pull it for $40, you can keep it sealed. So a lot of people probably jump into this. These are always popular. These are the box breaks where one person gets the whole box, and you have the option to open it or the option to leave it sealed and ship it out. You might want to leave it sealed and see if it goes up in price over time. People love that kind of stuff. Astral Radiance has apparently been moving up in price a lot. That used to be a much cheaper box not too long ago. And no, it's jumping, and I presume it will jump further over time. Why don't you get a small mirrorless camera like the Canon? Da-da-da-da-da. Now I'm going to get an iPhone. Hey, what's up, Heath? Y'all smash that like. It's me, your yard cutter. Hey, Joey Albrecht, my yard cutter. The new iPhone is good, but I'm going to wait for the next year's phone. I could wait one more year, I guess. I don't really want to. This phone's already a little bit old. Now I'm curious what the oldest one is. Oh, the waiting to finish. This is the oldest break. It is Cloud. He has suddenly jumped all the way up to 13 out of 20. He's actually really close to finishing now, and I'm just going to keep cheerleading for him. By the way, tonight's giveaway is the $400 Pikachu. You don't have to do anything to get on this except type in TCC and smash the subscribe button. You can't win if you're not subscribed. It's not possible because I'll check. All right, so let's hit refresh and set this up. Remember the old Discord calls on stream a few years back? That was with me and my brother and a few others. Yeah, we did that a couple times over time. We are. Discord calls, we've done that a couple times. We could do it again. Sometimes it's really fun. It's kind of hard to host though, but yeah, I remember. Here we are. Here's Elma. We did one later with Tammy, for example. Here's a Venusaur. Ooh. Alex the Ghost. Ghost of something something, right? He was a moderator and then he disappeared for a while. He stopped in a couple months ago, I feel, but I haven't seen him again. He definitely just pops in to say hi. He doesn't like hang out day to day. Alex still hangs out day to day. Like, holy cow, man. Okay, welcome guys to the late night stream. It's me, the Cardconomist. We're live again, and we're collectors. We like to open up packs, see if we get lucky. We like to talk about slab away. We like to talk about the breaks. We got a lot of breaks. Breaks are a chance for a slab, very similar to when you're opening up a card. We have this really cool pack split going on right here. $23 a spot. Ancient Origins, I believe, is halfway done. Let's see, pack split time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's just shy of halfway done. Man, Kitty ran over my foot and she sliced my top of my toe open. Man, it itches like crazy. I guess I'll just leave that alone. All right, we got Mr. Jonas. He's new. Hey, what's up, Jonas? Ship my cards, addresses, blah, 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 blah. Sounds good. Okay, so Jonas is going to ship right now. Okay, so let me get my... Now, if you're here, Mr. Jonas, I need one more thing from you. I need your phone number. I need your phone number, actually. And so there's a couple ways you can get that to me. You can send me another PayPal payment and just make it the smallest amount that it allows. Okay, so you could do that. Or you could send me an email at TheCardconomist@gmail.com. Those are the two ways you can easily get me your phone number. I have to have it to make the label, okay? Have to have your phone number. See here? Just get you a nice fresh bag here. The other one's looking a little raggedy. Here's Jonas Gordon. 9.25. See here? Yes, I have to have your phone number to ship international. I don't have it. I'm going to say shipping paid on this one. There it is. Okay. Oops. Here's one of the fastest breaks, Nido King with 3 spots remaining. And Let's see what else is coming in. Christopher Houghton says, Mr. Please, one Japanese, 151. You got it. Okay, 151. You got it. Oh, very nice. 3 to 4 years. That's ancient. Yeah, it's pretty old. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close to 100,000 subscribers. I'm very excited for this number. It's been my focus this year to just get to 100,000 subscribers. That has been the focus more than anything else. And we are on the horizon of that. I'm going to be very happy when we hit that number. And I'm going to do a nice big fat giveaway for you guys. Remember, $5,000 giveaway to share, you know, some generosity with you guys after we reach that really fun number. It's like a party. So I hope you guys will join me for that when we hit that number. So don't go anywhere. All right, Christopher Houghton. Tonight we're giving away that $400 Pikachu. Here we go. Let's see what we have here. We have an order to take care of. It's Mr. Isaac. He wants a junk pack. The junk packs have been weirdly very popular, which I was not expecting. Here you go, Isaac. You want to see what's in here? Did we just ship you, Isaac, or was it that we gave you a box? Little Bulbasaur, Persian Meowth, Polar Bear, Splinter of the Turtles, One-Up Mushroom, Hello Kitty stuff, and there you have it. That is a $3 junk pack, everybody. They sell really well for some reason. People love their junk. Okay, I remember this. We gave you a floating bag. Let's see, is it this one? Nope, that's Israel Rodriguez. How about this one? Isaac Thomas. There we go. Thanks, Isaac. Appreciate it. If you guys are wanting to open up some cards tonight, check out the description of the live stream on how to order. All right, it's Saturday night. We had a really good Friday night. So I don't know how busy Saturday night is going to be. Let's see. Menu in description. Let me hit that. Hey, mate, do you stream on Whatnot? I do not. I stay away from Whatnot. We exclusively stream here on YouTube. Whatnot's fun. I think they probably have some interesting tricks like auctions or something like that. I never sell my stuff in auction. We strictly do buy it now, and if it doesn't sell, we just lower the price. Pretty uncomplicated. But more importantly, I just think YouTube's so much nicer to sellers because Whatnot, I don't know if you knew this, but they take like 8% on Whatnot. They take a big chunk. So selling on YouTube should be the goal for all rip and shippers, not just some. YouTube is the best method for selling. And yeah, Whatnot screws people over, but it makes it very easy for people who don't know how to set up a channel on YouTube. All right. No, I didn't know that. Sorry. Oh, you're fine. Mr. Tyler says, a few years ago, we were both here every stream. I remember always seeing you, my boy. What's your opinion on that Nido King? I think it's the best card of Destined Rivals. Best card? No. From Destined Rivals, the best card will be Mewtwo. He might not even beat the Ho-Oh. I'm sorry, the Cynthia's Garchomp. He's definitely a top 10 card, though. And I am a major Nido King fan myself. So I really like this and just think it's an awesome card. What do you guys think? You think it's an awesome card? I think it's an awesome card. Okay, let me close this back up. Hello, what's up, Tammy? Only downloaded it last night. Cheers for letting me know. AO is pack split. Ancient Origins. Oh yeah, Ancient Origins is the pack split. Tammy, we have a new break available. This Astral Radiance break, it's a 41 and 16 break. You get the whole box to yourself. If you wish, you can keep it sealed. So if you wish, you can update that channel that has all of the breaks in it. Nicotine loves Taco Bell. Oh yeah, who doesn't love some nicotine? Dude, nicotine's bad for you, man. That stuff's so addictive. All right, here's Mr. Mark. 2 of the Pokemon McDonald's Dragon Packs. Mr. Mark. Here you go, Mark. Dang, Mark. Look at those beautiful packs. Any news on the McDonald's Happy Meal Poke set? What news would are you talking about the Japanese one? Seems that they did not reprint it, so definitely went up in value. So it's a box battle. Yeah, it's like a box battle. One person gets the entire box. It's a box battle. It's a 1 in 16. That means one person pulls the whole thing. Ooh. Astral Radiance going up in price. Not a bad thing to have in your collection. There we go. If you do not already have one. Hey, we have these McDonald packs in Singapore too. Yeah, these right here. They're nice, huh? All right, Mr. Panda, how are you doing? Wait, you still got the McDonald's? Well, this is the Dragons McDonald's set. This Charizard High Dragon. Actually, you know, I haven't checked the price on these in a long time. Do I need to check the price on these? I've not checked the price on these in months. I actually forgot. You know why I don't check the price on this? Because no one ever buys it. There it is. No one ever buys this. Should I be looking into this? There we go. Very nice, Mr. Mark. Does Kitty bite your fingers? She's so cute. She does bite my fingers sometimes. She is very adorable. She's a really nice cat, ultimately. Cats always have different personalities. Some are more standoffish. She's not standoffish at all. She's very cute. You could twist her into a pretzel. And she likes to lay on your neck and purr. So that's where she likes to lay down, is on your neck. And she'll like groom your arm or something for like 30 minutes. It's very cute. We are? No, Mister has a full set of hair. That's right. I haven't lost a single hair. I have a full head. We are? Oh, Romaine says, scalper, 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 scalper. This is Romaine's favorite card. It's this apple cider card. All right, no, but actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that sells eventually. Here's that Hitmonlee Gym Break. It has not gone off. It's time for it to go off to eBay. eBay time. Let's take a picture. Okay. Maybe the McDonald's hype reignite, but I just like the special foils. I love cats. Mine laying on my chest, watching the stream with me. Turn this down a little bit. So, I'm going to jump over here. All right. Good. And one more picture. You get a picture of the back. Click. All right. And we're going to say... See, I took the pictures and I chose the price. It's almost like it's just a simple data entry job, really, ultimately. Okay. How many good full art singles that I want, says Jay Kadasha. Full art singles. You mean like ungraded cards? We don't sell singles. We have the Raw Shuffle and we have the junk packs. We don't do singles, though, because it's just... I just don't have the time and I don't have the patience, ultimately. That's the real reason. Oh, let's put this away. I don't have the time and I don't have the patience. Okay. Oops. All right. Do you mean eBay? Hey, man, eBay takes a cut, but guess what? They get it sold, and it actually sells at a higher price on eBay anyways. eBay it sells. Like, we had it there for $37, two-person break, right? Nobody wanted in. I'm listing it for $120 on eBay, and it has a shot at selling on eBay. And so I'm just going to make more money over there anyways. So we're gonna start doing that more often. Here says, Mickey Mouse, you sure turn the tables. Oh. Okay, what's this? We've got Mark J. Valerian, 2 more packs of the Pokemon McDonald's. Here you go, man. Whoa, what's this music? I'm getting all hyped, dude. Whoa. Feed my bae. Okay, no problem. Mega Evolution ETB by any chance do you have? Oh, I've got it, Mr. J. Just waiting for you. Ready? We got it. All right. Hawaiian just secured the Mewtwo 151 promo through trade. There we go. Okay, you still got the train card. For new independent collectors, should I be leaning towards streaming or listing on eBay? Well, it doesn't matter if you stream or not. You have to have an eBay. It doesn't matter what. You could do all kinds of tricks, but you do have to have an eBay. So that's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to have it. For everyone listening, if you want some advice, and I've said this for years, go create an eBay account right away. If you don't have an eBay account, that's kind of crazy to me. And then the second thing you need to create is an Instagram. Doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a bunch of followers. Just make sure that your Instagram account is the exact same name as your eBay account. The names have to match. So go make an eBay and create an Instagram account of the exact same name. So that when you list your items on eBay, someone can look you up on Instagram and work out a private deal if they wish. Oh yeah, look at that Pikachu. Pikachu Charizard, nice. Beautiful. Mister has just about everything. I smell a banger. That was me, I farted. Here's Drampa. Ooh. Drampa. We used to joke that the Drampa card was Joe Biden. Wow, we used to have Joe Biden as president not that long ago. And he was like really old. Okay, here we are. I agree with Mr. 100%. I bought a card from a guy on eBay, and now he is a Rayquaza plug on Instagram. There we go. Yeah, so have your Instagram account match your eBay. You can also list your items for sale on Instagram and then link to your eBay store from Instagram. So it goes both ways, really. Turn this down a little bit. Old McDonald's had a farm. McDonald's Dragon Discovery. That's what it's called, Dragon Discovery. Okay, what are these selling for these days? What are these booster packs going for? Ended recently. Let me type in booster. All right. They're kind of, there's a variety of prices, but it looks like we are going to change our price to $8 now. Sorry about that, Mark. But Mark, you got 4 of them today at $5. That was kind of nice. So these have moved up in price over the years. Doesn't really surprise me, does it? When you can pull Charizard, Rayquaza, Umbreon, and Dragonite all out of a small pack, you know, that's going to go up. And we just hadn't checked on the price of that for like, how many months was it? We didn't check for a really long time. So we have Mr. Heath, and he says he wants a Poke Shuffle. All right, Mr. Heath, does your name have to be on the Pikachu giveaway? That's right. In order to have a real shot at the Pikachu, you have to get onto this list. That's what you're trying to do. So when you type TCC into chat, Chatbot, Nightbot will automatically choose a random person to make it onto this list. And then when this list fills, that's when it goes off. Okay, so you guys are here early. I appreciate you guys. You're the early guys. Let's get you guys a roll right now. So it's the first 23 minutes of the stream. We're going to hand out a spot early to you guys who are here early, because more people will come later, but you guys were here first, so you get a roll. You ready? And it is Tyler. Hey, Tyler, look at that, man. Tyler makes it on. Yay! Okay, Tyler. TSL. Okay. Tyler, if you ever want to get into those breaks, man, we're ready for you to lose all your money on the breaks. So that's all the way up to 12. So we've got 8 spots remaining. Let's see. He says, okay. That's pretty good, by the way, Tyler, because a lot of people went on this list right now. This is the list to be on because it's a good card. So we're hitting refresh. So there's nobody on the list anymore. We refreshed the entries. So you'll need to type TCC all over again now. Why do we do that? Because if somebody pops in here, types in TCC, and then leaves a minute later, we don't want them in the list anymore. We don't want them to have a shot anymore. They got to try again or something. Just the people who are here, right now, we want them in here. All right, so I think we're about to get into the Mark order for 2 of the McDonald's packs. So, Mark, you got one last round at the $5 deal. Now, future orders will be 8, and they're still a great option, even at that point. But you did good. You got 6 packs at the old price. And by the way, guys, if you're just joining in tonight, we have a new box break. So this is like a box battle, and one person gets the whole box. Your odds are 1 in 16. It's kind of rough. There is a star spot, so you might pull the star spot. But it's for a sealed box of Astral Radiance. At which point, You can have me open it immediately, or you can pay a $5 additional fee to have it shipped sealed, okay? Did you catch that? Whole booster box break. Very popular. Good stuff. Let me go get some more of this Dragon Discovery. Oh man, that little kitty wants to play so bad. What do we got here? What do we got here? How about some of these? Grab this box, bring it over. All right. We have a nice show for you guys tonight. How are you? Are you guys having a nice Saturday? There. Okay. Hope you guys are having a nice Saturday. Ready? After his Dragon Packs, can we do my Poke Shuffle? We never did your Poke Shuffle. I got distracted. Heath, you're going first, Heath. Here goes. Heath, I got distracted. My bad. Okay. What do we got for you? Apparently, they made a huge arrest here in town. Someone was organizing card theft around all the Walmarts. Holy hell, dude. It's the new diamond theft. Why break into a jewelry store? And jewelry stores are so tough to break into. Why do that when you can just hit up Pokemon cards and Lego or something like that? Ready? Here goes, Heath. One cold one. I'm sorry, Heath. That's going to be Vullaby. Appreciate it, man. Better luck next time. Now I have a chance to get product. All right, so jumping back over here to Mr. Mark. I see we have 24 likes. I'd love it if it was 30 likes. That would be half the viewers. We are. Welcome, guys. Welcome. It's Saturday. Saturday night, Sunday morning. Very nice day of the week. All right, look at this. Rawr. Pikachu and Dragonite. So lovely. Apparently, they made a huge arrest in town. I want to get one of those McDonald's boxes. We're going to have some McDonald's Pikachus coming back, the Japanese ones, soon enough. I don't know when they'll actually come back, but we'll have those, and that'll be kind of a fun time, won't it be? Oh, see, look at that. Another Dragonite. This set's pretty cool. And another Drampa. That's very weird. That's not very well, that's not the best RNG, is it? Of course, I don't think it's a huge set. But that's cool, man. I almost feel like I don't have to sell these. I could just open these up, organize them, and then, you know, grade them. So, you're over here. Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark. Thought those were pretty good rounds for you, Mr. Mark. Hello, Pokey Yaki VT. Would you guys like to see a new high-end slab on the table? Yeah. Let us begin by getting rid of this Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is going off to eBay, where he belongs. Okay? He's a cool card. Maybe we'll host a new Mickey Mouse break in the future. I got plenty of Mickey Mouse cards. There's no shortage. Picture number 1. Picture number 2. Okay, and a price tag of $200. Boy, I almost feel like I just list these myself. It's too easy. I think it's the convenience of having someone do it. All right. So, we have an order here. Joshua Whipple, hoping to finish that box of Mega Brave. If not, 25 packs, please. So, finish the box of Mega Brave. Is that what you're saying? And you're saying this is 25 packs. Is that right? Yeah, you're saying this is for 25 packs. Let's get it. Let's count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's the end of the Mega Break box, Mega Brave box. All right. Ooh. Look at that My Little Pony card. She's looking nuts. Ready. Snipping this. Snipping this. Okay. And snipping this. Ta-da! Cool. Set that down. All right, Mr. Joshua Whipple. Steelix. Code. Hariyama. More like hairy butt cheeks. That is Mega Lucario. Okay, he's got like a big spike coming out of his fist. That doesn't seem right. Here's Camelrupt. Hope you hit a nice 1 or 2. I hope he hits a nice 1 or 2. Code. Here's a Spearow. Nobody really likes Spearow. Poor Spearow. They gave him like such a simple artwork too. What the hell? Okay. Here's Mega Mawile. The Bunny, Cinderace. Freaking so. Ah! There you go. All Tart Venusaur. Totally worth it. Great box. Joshua Whipple doing very well. Also, here's your Powerade. Doesn't this look just like Coca-Cola's Powerade? There you go. Looks exactly like a bottle of Powerade. Okay. Okay. Oh, the Ivysaur too. You just need Bulbasaur now. That's a great round. Okay, that's why people are still opening cards, guys. You know, people don't open cards because they think there's no point or something. They're like, ah, yeah, I'm not going to get anything. That's not true. You ever look in the market, you see all those PSA 10s of this, PSA 10s of that. That was somebody who pulled it out of a booster pack at one point. So it's totally possible to pull it. It's just, you got to get lucky. And the luck might be against you, so like the odds might be bad. The odds aren't zero, though. All right. Okay, all right. So I didn't sleeve some of these up because I'm too lazy. That's a good box. Yeah, that is a good box. What do you think about that? Yeah, look at that. Ooh. All right. Joshua, that's the kind of box that makes the people around you very jealous. They go, wait, that should have been me. Very good. Can't win if you don't play. Well, exactly. Or you could just go buy the slab outright. Which sometimes mathematically that seems to be the safer option. So, how about a slab tonight? Here's a slab. We have a vintage holographic PSA 10 Hypno. And let's find out what he is selling for today. Fossil Hypno. He's going for... Is this the holographic version? So there's one in Canada, and it's like over 800, and it doesn't come with like the eBay guarantee. And if you think about it, you're gonna have to pay taxes, and then you're gonna have to pay an import fee. Then after that, there's one for 1,153, but that one's also in Australia, so it's actually worse than the Canadian one because it just costs more straight up. And they both have pretty bad cert numbers. Of course, this one isn't a great cert number either, 28. However, I will say this, mine has the updated label, which is nice. So the cheaper one does not have the updated label. Oh, wait, maybe it does. It's just a really bad-looking one. Yeah, the label on this one looks gross. You can kind of see it. It's all, like, folded up or something. It's all wavy. Let's see. How does mine look? Does mine look really clean? Oh, yeah. Mine looks nice and clean. That's good. I think I'm going to make mine exactly 1,000. I think that's fair. I think that's fair because you don't pay taxes when you check out with me. You don't have to have it ship over from Australia. You don't need to worry about You know, authentication, is it real? You don't have to worry about any of that. There. All right. Or import fees, no import fees. So we're going to stick with about 1,000 even. I think that's just right. So here is a nice high quality holographic fossil card. Priced competitively. It's not priced to hold, it's priced to sell. There it is. I wasn't feeling it last night for some reason. I should have just hit it. Oh yeah, you almost let that one go, huh? There you go. All right. So let's get the population count because people care about that stuff. It's very important. Population count on our beautiful Hypno here shall be 276. Okay. You might not know it, but that's extremely low for WOTC era card coming out of Fossil. And there you have it. Okay, lovely. Definitely fair. Oh, okay, so what do we have next? We have, click, Mark J. Valerian. I do PSA grading for the McDonald's Dragonite and Pikachu, please. Also, I'd like to donate my other McDonald's Pokemon cards to you if possible. You want to donate your other Pokemon cards? You should keep them. What are you talking about? All right. Damn, you got a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, man. Those Yu-Gi-Oh cards beat your booty cheeks up, man. You're splashing your boat on the rocks. And they're like, no ghost rare for you. That's the ghost from the past, man. That is so typical. Seen that so many times. I've been selling that since the year 2020. Did you know that? That's how long I've been selling those. All right, so we got Pikachu, we got Dragonite. I think you had 2 Dragonites to think about, didn't you? Am I wrong about that? Oh, maybe you didn't. Look at that Trihorn Dragon. All right. You did pretty good on the Blue Eyes. Oh, by the way, I found more of those Blue Eyes booster packs. Yeah, I found another round of them. They were on my slab cart. I'm just looking for certain ones in the McDonald's packs. Okay, so if you don't like Drampa or Koraidon or Hydra Dragon or Drampa, we'll put those in there. Like that. Okay. And we'll set this back up here. And we'll donate this to the holographic cards pile, which I have one of those over here. Would you sell Dragonite? Would I sell Dragonite? I mean, sometimes I sell Dragonites. Pikachu, Pika! Okay. How much left you got of the Blue Eyes? Let me go look that up. I'll find out for you in a moment. Also found out we had some more of the Black Flames Korean. So that is back up on the menu for a limited time. $2 a pack. There's less than 1 full box of it. We had like 1 full box of it. That's what we had. Okay. Ba-doop. Safe in its sleeve. Ba-doop. And you're sending these off to PSA, huh? All right, you got it. You think the market will cool down anytime soon? It's in a huge bubble, and it's going to pop any minute. Any second. You got to take profits, bro. Who knows, dude? Man, I could see Pokemon going way higher. Like maybe it reached a new baseline, and now that the new baseline is in, you know, it doesn't really fall back down. It just kind of goes up and down from this point. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's way overvalued and it's all fake and it's going to collapse and go to nothing. How would you know? You know, what is it based off of? And I have some basic beliefs. I spout them all the time on this channel. So if you like talking about maybe like the philosophy or the principles behind the idea of card collecting as an alternative investment, my basic beliefs are that the millennials are kind of like the next generation to build wealth and inherit money. And what are they going to spend their money on? You tell me. Marble statues, the Mona Lisa, or Charizard. What are millennials going to do? They're going to buy Charizard. Duh. And so that's number one. That's tenant number one. And tenant number two, these cards make so much money for YouTubers. The YouTubers alone will keep buying them. They'll buy booster packs for booster pack opening videos. And they'll buy slabs so they can show off their big collection. So it doesn't really matter either way. The YouTubers are going to buy these. And so there's going to be a certain special demand. And, you know, you might be looking at the beginning of it, not the ending of it, because everyone's always trying to predict the end, right? They're always trying to say, it's about to collapse tomorrow. It's going to collapse tomorrow. It's a bubble. And if I really believed it was in a huge bubble, I would have sold already. I'd have sold all my stuff. I would have sold back in 2023 when it was clear that the market was cooling off and prices were going down. I would have freaked out and sold everything. I would have sold in 2024 when the market hit like fresh lows and it was like really obvious that Pokemon card prices were down. I would have sold my best cards off. I didn't do that because I know what I'm doing. I'm holding my cards for like 20 years. That's what I'm doing. And we said many times, we said Pokemon card market will go up and then it'll go down and then it'll go up and then it'll go down. You have to have like the guts to stay in when it's down. And many people don't, especially for cards, by the way. Cards are so speculative. But people just don't have the guts to stay in. It's the same for the stock market. It's the same for crypto. Like I sold my Bitcoin because I got scared. And so I didn't have the guts to stay in Bitcoin. I think I sold around 90. Bitcoin's now like 115. So, but I think I did okay because I took that Bitcoin money and rolled it into Pokemon. So I did okay. But, you know, I didn't have to sell. I could have just kept it. It would have kept going up. But I sold around 90 and it broke over 100. And I sold my Tesla stock when Elon Musk was just being crazy. Like first he got super Republican, which I didn't think that was good for the company. And then he said he didn't like Trump and that Trump was in the Epstein files. I was like, well, who's going to be your customer? Not the Democrats and not the Republicans. So I think he's this sort of tainted CEO. And I was sitting on like, I think it was like $6,500 of Tesla stock and I sold out. Not a lot. That's like, for people who are really into stocks, that's like a drop of money. But, you know, it just showed you that I got scared. Now Tesla stocks are way up. They're way, way up. And Elon Musk himself is buying more of his own company stocks. And so it's, that was a mistake. All I had to do was hodl. And so it's the same with Pokemon cards. It's like there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. And if you chicken out the moment it goes down in price, you never really had a reason to invest. You were just a speculator. You didn't really believe in them as a thing that holds value over time. You just saw everyone else buying it. You saw the price going up and you thought, hey, I should get into that. So you should really sit down and have a talk with yourself about what you really believe about the world and what it is you want to try to control, what you want to try to own over time. I'm here for the political commentary. Rant, rant, rant. We're going to see Charizard at the Louvre Art Gallery in France. Yeah, maybe. I think so. Same America's favorite. Mister, can I put in an order through Weiss? Just making sure you still use it. I absolutely use it. Yep. I use it all the time. And that is for international orders. It actually saves us a lot of money when we use Weiss. Let's see. Elon for president. I think many people were in the same boat as you with regards to Tesla. Oh, yeah. He scared me. First, he got super Republican. And I thought, all right, maybe the Republicans will be his new customers. And then he's like, I don't even like Trump. Screw that guy. And I was like, all right, I don't know about this company Tesla anymore. It's too political. Steven Gonzalez says 2 Mega Symphonia, 1 white. Japanese. White people, white. Okay, here you go. Ba-doop. And then 2 Mega Symphonias. Where am I going to find the Mega Symphonias? There we go. We can talk some politics if you guys want to talk politics. I don't really know what there is to talk about. Oh, the H-1B visa. Some people are really celebrating that. Donald Trump took it's a worker visa for tech workers, basically. And like 70% of the people using it were Indian workers. And then like another 15% were Chinese. And they were coming over here to be software engineers. And it used to cost $1,000 a year to get that from the government. Now it costs $100,000 a year. What? From $1,000 per year to $100,000 per year. So overnight, with the swipe of a pen, Donald Trump basically said, we're not taking any more tech workers. Just a tiny percentage of them will still come in. Like the top AI, super coders who know stuff on a whole nother level. That's it. And, okay, so people celebrated this because there's a lot of tech workers in America who are out of work. They've been laid off. They're not getting paid what they should be getting paid because you can replace them with a cheap, worker from another country who is happy to work for maybe like a start pay of $60,000, that's nice money, but not in like California, for example, where a lot of tech jobs are. So a lot of American tech workers celebrated this move and said, wait a second, why is it, a Republican doing this? It should have been a Democrat. And it's an odd thing because now the Democrats have to come out and explain why that's a bad thing. But I think the basic argument is that it's bad because you miss out on a lot of talent. So, a lot of people from China and India who are talented and, they deserve to be in a meritocracy, they're not going to make it over here anymore. They're going to stay in their homelands, and we're going to miss out on their productive young years. And yeah, I overall think it was too steep of a change. It should have been like 50,000 or something like that. It's too steep of a change. All right, there we go. That was for our friend Steven Gonzalez. So those are my feelings on the H-1B visa. It was too steep. 60K is actually good salary, right? It is. Yeah, 60K is good, especially because, your partner can get a job too. And pretty quickly you can get close to 100,000 after one job upgrade, if you get promoted. That was Karis's starting salary. She got a tech job. She started at 60,000. That was the starting pay out here in Missouri. 60,000. That'll buy you a house in 1 year. Back then, not anymore. Back then, you buy a house at $60,000, like in cash. Okay, Mr. Heath, he says, one McDonald's Dragon. You got it, man. All right. The order also doesn't take account that most companies are going to hire outside of the U.S. when this order takes place. Yeah, so one of the arguments is that the people who are skilled in coding will simply be hired as contractors to write code and, sort of just sell that back into America. I'm betting services like that are not immune to tariffs. So that's kind of, that's one of the thoughts. Maybe Trump will collect a government tariff from that, which is just a tax. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I really am not. These are just my surface opinions on the subject without being an expert at it. Some people really celebrated this. They said that, hey, the H-1B visa was getting exploited. American workers, middle-class workers were all getting swept under the rug. They saw no increase in their pay. They were easily replaceable with the hordes and hordes of workers from India. When I was in school, almost the entire classroom was international students for computer science. Almost the entire classroom, Indians, Arabs, Asians. I was like one of 5 white guys in the whole class, in the whole thing. And by the way, I got to know them all. I got to be friends with them. They're human beings. They're real people. They're very nice, very cordial, intelligent, talented. And I tell a story about a guy from Malaysia who his name was Hain, and he was one of the officers of the computer science club. Such a smart guy. He didn't land a job in time, so he was stuck going back to Malaysia. We were just going to miss out on him. And so this is why I feel like I definitely feel conflicted on the subject, because it's like there's so many nice, normal people. These are actual skilled workers mostly, and they actually have something to offer. And to just kind of kick them out, I think you're going to miss out on some hidden gems, some people who are really talented, and the H-1B visa was getting them in the door. And so, it's kind of interesting because when you talk about the subject of immigration, you often say something like, well, we don't want out of control immigration, but we do want high skill immigration. And this changes that. This kind of says we don't even want the high skill immigration. So I don't know. I feel conflicted about it. I think it was too steep. And I wonder whose original idea it was, if it was his or if it was maybe somebody on his team. I don't know. But I remember there was a debate on this subject already. Joshua Whipple, remember, wasn't there a debate between Elon Musk and, I don't remember his name. Who's the Indian guy in the Republican Party who ran for president? He and Elon Musk, weren't they fighting over the H-1B visa subject? And then also a third guy, what was his name? The Breitbart guy. God, and that guy used to be kind of like in Trump's atmosphere, and he's gone too. I don't remember his name either. There's too many names to remember. Joshua Whipple. Venue to PSA, please. Okay, Venazor. Ramy Swamy. I like Ramy Swamy. He's very fiery. I think he says some crazy things sometimes, but he's very passionate. And then the other guy, do you guys know who I'm talking about? The Breitbart guy? I don't remember his name, for the love of God. That guy's super against it. Here we go. All right. I think Ramaswamy was for the H-1B visa, right? Here we are. There we go. there were debates over that, saying that it was basically just a loophole to get into the country really quickly. Okay, the issue I have is that we are giving them no other choice but to work in Asian tech companies, leaving us out of their skill and knowledge. Yeah, so I think the appropriate thing probably would have been to just raise it a bit, you know. $1,000 was probably too cheap. But, you know, if you raise it to a certain amount, you get a mix of still being able to bring in some reasonable candidates, but also protecting American workers as well. So a combination, you know, like if it was even as low as $20,000 a year, that will still make a company kind of, you know, do a double look like, maybe we just hire a local, which I think is the goal of the change, is to hire local Americans first, as it should be. A country should exist to protect its citizens' jobs. What's the point of being part of a country and paying taxes if the jobs aren't protected and your taxes are spent on everyone but you? Which is really the big drivers in political change these days, like in the UK, in Germany, and all the places. 2 gem 2s, 2 shiny treasures. All right. Like, I think a big political disaster has been paying the hotels to house, asylum seekers. Because when you see the bill for that, you're like, how much? $1 billion? You go, oh my God. We have so many homeless people already, and we don't put them up in the hotels. And they're actual citizens. And so this is what gets people fired up, is that line of thinking. And so, you know, if you work in a country, that country should protect you first, and your taxes should take care of your community first, and then the leftovers should be used to help other people. But I think there's a strong feeling, not just in the Republican Party, but also in the Democrat Party, that, hey, how are we using these funds? Because if you recall, so Trump wins in a landslide. It's a supermajority, not just him. It's the Senate wins Republican and the Congress wins Republican. That can only mean one thing: the country shifted. And when you look at who voted and how, it was young men, Latino and Black men voting for Trump. And so they have to share these grievances. These, hey, I'm in the Black community and you took all this money and never spent it on us. We've voted you into office over and over and over again, and you've never helped. And then all of a sudden you have this money for everything else, and it's like going to all these other countries, and it's going to these hotel rooms. And I have friends who are homeless now, and they don't get a hotel room. Whoa, what do we got? Oh, yeah, look at that. So there's a lot of fire and fury from the conservatives who are mad that we're spending any money. But I think also Democrats are like, you're spending money, but not on me. I voted for it. What? Like, what? How about me? What are you doing to help me? It's a poor thing to be a socialist and to say, you know, hey, let's take our tax money and help ourselves. And then you take your tax money and help everyone else. So I think that was just really foolish political ideas that just didn't last. They didn't stand the test of time. All right, how's that for politics, guys? We can keep going, or we can talk about other subjects. Look at that. Ooh, Joshua Whipple. Very nice. Thank you so much, Mr. Josh. Very good. We were talking a little bit about a really big change to the country. The H-1B visa is now $100,000 a year. This is going to cut off tech workers like crazy from other countries. But on the other hand, it's going to provide security to Americans who are going to school for tech jobs and who are also considering going to school for tech jobs. So now they're going, oh, I guess I'll go because my job is protected now when I graduate. All right, what we got here? Ooh. Oh, we shouldn't sell this. This should be a mega break. This is a future mega break for sure, right? You can get rid of the OP hollows if you want. Ooh, yes, sir. What's going to be your favorite card from the new set? Oh, the Phantasmal Flames? I haven't seen it all. There. Okay. Ooh, that doesn't all look like one piece. So let me do a check in there. We only want to take your one piece cards. You didn't say to take anything else. Oh, from Mega Evolution? I don't know about that one. I don't have a strong answer for that one. I'm not big on like Lucario, for example. And then Venusaur is not my favorite either. Blastoise would have been better than Charizard. Or I'm sorry, if you have a set with no Charizard, I would have defaulted to Blastoise. So Venusaur is my least favorite of the starters. Sorry about the Venusaur blaspheme. All right. So there's that. I think the Absol is superb. In Australia, we had a case where a refugee was placed in a hotel room with education, food, all paid for. And as soon as he gained access as a visa holder, he said he was angry with Australia and leaving to the United States. Oh, yeah. Woo! Well, thanks for taking care of him for us. He's all ours now. No, but that's a very scary thing in a sense. I gotta sneeze. Whew. The more you normalize giving people stuff for free, the more people look at it not as a gift, not as a charity, not as a beautiful act of, generosity and empathy. They look at it as a right, and they say, well, that's mine because I have a right to it. I have a right to a portion of your income. You better give it to me. And then they're just not grateful for it. And you go to work every day, you don't get anything for free. You actually lose like a quarter or a half of your income so that other people can have stuff for free. So at the very least, you want to feel appreciated for it. And so it's very dangerous when you go down that sort of like, that's a very common sort of catchphrase. He has right, she has a right, human rights, everyone's got these rights. Where do they come from? You weren't born with them. Like 2 million years ago, when humans were living in caves, or whatever, 200,000 years ago, I don't know, whatever you want. When humans were living in caves, you're just born and you had to survive. That was it. There's no rights. Rights are totally made up. They're made up by governments, and governments enforce those rights through violence. So it's a totally, sort of like abstract thing that we've made up. And then everyone sort of patted each other on the back and said, I'm a good human. You're a good human. We're good humans. We have rights. This country has rights. You have a right to a meal. You have a right to education. You have a right to healthcare. You have a right to a house. You have a right to a job. You have a right to blah, 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 blah. The list gets longer and longer. And the more you convince yourself of those ideas, the next time you get something for free, you don't appreciate that somebody went to work to get that for you. And one day you're just like, hey, where's my free stuff? That's mine. And so the entitlement attitude, it's not necessarily a huge problem, but it could be. And it would be nice if people just appreciated it. They didn't take it for granted. They said, thank you so much. I really appreciate and cherish my time here. You guys took so good care of me. But despite that, I'm off to the United States. Bye. But it sounds like he didn't say it that way. And, that's just a lack of decorum or something. But it makes you question. It makes you go, wow, was this really worth it? Maybe I could have just spent that money on my children. Maybe that money should have gone into a trust fund for my children who love me and I love them. And we're related by blood. And I work with my, it's my blood that raises this money in the child. Maybe it belongs to them. It's their right. It's their inheritance. But it has gone to somebody else who doesn't love you, isn't interested in you. He can't wait to leave your country with all the stuff you've already given him. So you see what I'm saying? So you think about those things for a while, especially if you're a hard worker, and it kind of sinks in. And that's how you get a conservative party that says, hey, no more of this. So you got to appreciate the origins of those feelings. You got to appreciate how they occur, understand. It's like a mechanical thing. It's a mechanical thing. It's going to happen. It's a mechanical thing. You can't stop it. Okay, it's a biological thing, and biology works almost in a mechanical way. All right, we have an order from Mr. Stu. What's up, Mr. Stu? Mister, why do I see Hypno on the table for 1,000? Please say this is for sale. We got 2 cards for sale. We got Hypno and Dark Raichu, 1,400 and 1,000. Oh, yeah. Ain't that the truth? What secondary market do you recommend for slabs, to purchase slabs, that is? Anywhere. Anywhere where you think you got a good price. Doesn't really matter. I will say the eBay guarantee is pretty cool, because you can buy from somebody who has like 5 feedback. And if it says eBay guarantee when you buy it, you can be like, this has got to be real, or they protect me. So yeah, I like the eBay guarantee. But there's a lot of websites now like Golden Auction and whatever Fanatics is now. So there's all these places now. And I get a lot of my slabs in private sales. You know that? People come to me and say, hey, I want to get rid of this. Can you buy it from me? And some of my best purchases were just some overpriced slab I found on eBay. That's it. It was totally overpriced. And I bought it and said, all right, I'll buy it. Totally overpriced. And then 3 or 4 years later, I'm like rich because it quadrupled in price. I thought the Dark Raichu was like 8K. This is the CGC 10 version of the card, and so it's a little bit cheaper. And it's not bad looking. See how it looks. He's not bad. So he's a little bit cheaper because he is a CGC 10. If you don't like CGC 10s, then leave him for me. So, Stu, I'm not going to be able to say your last name. How's it said? Huthusian. I think I said it right. What's up, Stu? How's it going, man? Now, he wants the Golden Altaria tag submission, 8 cards. Oh, yes. Okay, so that has been paid for now. And I put that in a box, but I didn't use your real name. I used your Instagram name. So let me look up your Instagram name. Okay, it's under the G's. It's probably this box right here. Here it is. Okay, so these are being sent off to tag grading. And the first step is we need to get them into the semi-rigids. Could I slab away the Dark Raichu through ZELLE? I get a lot of money next month, so I can pay it off the first day of the month. Yeah, I don't mind. All right, yeah, you can slab it away. You can slab away whatever you want. Be the change, man. Starting this year, don't pay taxes, law. Look, I think taxes are a good thing, ultimately, because what taxes were meant to be. Sometimes there's this thing that you really don't want to buy as an individual. You're meant to buy it as a group. Good example is roads. Roads are like the best example. Military is another great example. You don't want your military put together by Coca-Cola. You want the government to purchase and assemble the military. So there's some really good uses for tax money. But over time, taxes sort of has become this topic where it's like, well, taxes are here for me to get all of my stuff paid for. And people think that this is a solution to the cost of living, but ironically increases the cost of living, because the more you make the government spend, and the government never brings in enough, the government doesn't make enough to pay for all your stuff. So the more the government needs to buy your stuff for you, the more it needs to print, the more it prints, the more expensive all your stuff gets. And so it's this cycle where you never catch up. You never actually escape it. Here we are. Lots of countries have tried to make it happen and work. You had the Soviet Union tried, millions of people died. Communist China tried it, millions of people died. And now you have Europe doing it, and everyone praises Europe. But if you look at Europe's GDP, it's like in severe decline. And that's because why would you want to open up a company in Europe and pay 50% taxes when you can open up the same company in the United States or in a place like the UAE and pay almost no taxes comparatively? And so all your smartest entrepreneurs and businesses are all trying to get out of your country. They're saying, get me out of here so I can actually build wealth instead of being held down by 50% tax rates. And that's just kind of how it goes. If people want to live a high quality of life and afford everything, their best bet always is to go produce goods, really advanced goods. So, for example, if your job is, and I use this a lot, stocking bread on the shelf at Walmart, that's not really that valuable. But if your job was building a home for people to live in, that's super valuable. Everybody wants that. And it's like a skill. It takes muscle. It takes practice. So it pays a lot. And so this is what I encourage everyone listening to do, is to go out and develop that skill that fits your personality type. But you got to get out of Walmart as fast as you can. You got to go get into a difficult job, selling a product that's expensive and valuable, and that there's not enough of. Like, there's not enough dentists. Okay, go be a dental hygienist. Go be a dentist. There we go. Ooh. Wow, these are some great cards, man. And the difference in pay between working, part-time at Walmart versus full-time as a dental hygienist is like the difference of the cost of a home. That's the solution. And then as more people fill those jobs, the cost of dental work goes down because now there's enough workers in dentistry to meet demand. And then it's some other field that gets pursued, There we go. All right. So let's move these off to the side. These little top loaders. Good. Traded my semi-rigids for your top loaders. All right. The government needs to pay themselves. You're always paying that off the top with your taxes. The bigger problem is lobbying, people pocketing money and receiving under the table. Sure, you can say both of those problems are true at the same time. Definitely, lobbying's a scary thing. It is. We want that to stay out of politics for sure. Now, I wonder, should I write your Instagram name down or the name of the payment? I'm going to say Instagram. Now, let's do your real name because I feel like that's how we always do it. Okay, we're using your real name, okay? Okay. I placed an order through Weiss. I saw it. I saw that order. I'm very excited. We're gonna service that, and it's gonna be great. But Mr. Stu comes first. There we go. All right. You just have to accept that you cannot print money to escape a productivity problem. If you have a productivity problem, no amount of money spending or money printing will resolve that. What you could do is educate your people more, so that might work, but you have to make sure they're being educated in a skill that is making lots of money. So interpretive dance does not make a lot of money. Music theory, I love music, by the way, but it just does not make a lot of money. Michael Jackson, he didn't get a music theory degree. He was just musically talented. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're busy paying for people to get interpretive dance degrees and you're busy paying for maybe like some classical art degrees that are very tricky, you're sort of just making the problem worse. You're spending money that the country doesn't have, and it's not going to produce any money. So you need to send your students off to learn trade skills that are very valuable. Computer science is valuable. Medicine is valuable. You might pay for that. That might be socialized because it's a social good, so that might be worth it. And so I have sort of a mixed approach on it. I'm not 100% against socialized education, but it has to be for the most profitable education, the most profitable degrees. If you want a degree in Shakespeare, that should be more like, you know, pursuit of the bourgeoisie or whatever. Mr. Stu, let's get you a fresh bag here too, Stu. All right. Hey, did you get my payment? What's up, Joe G? How's it going, man? Joe G. Let me see this. Oh, okay, different Joe G. I thought you were some other Joe G. All right. Oop, let me close this. Let me close this. My God, take me back to my stream. There it goes. All right, cool. Tyler, it was a really good anime. Definitely Raichu is better than Hypno. How does this work? So the Raichu is better than Hypno, but the Hypno is graded with PSA as a 10, and the Dark Raichu is graded with CGC as a 10. So that's what's going on there. They're closer in value than they look. We are. Like the Raichu is correctly priced. He's not, I don't think he's underpriced, unless I looked up the price wrong. Maybe I should check. It's a really expensive card, but I'm pretty sure that's correct because, you know, again, when a card is graded CGC 10, it just doesn't go for as much. Yeah, I did correctly grade this. I did correctly price it. So those prices are accurate. People pay a lot more for the PSA 10. Thank you, Mr. Stu. That is taken care of now. And now we have Brian Diaz. Hello, Brian. And he wants 2 solo leveling. Mr. Brian, where did I put that? Where's my solo leveling at? Ah, here it is. I slabbed away the Raichu. Can I still get the 1.5% off for ZELLE? Yeah, we could do that. Here we are. Okay. I'll set this over here. Let's see a hit. Ready? I'm in Canada and we are cooked. It's so socialist here. I just don't understand it. Oh boy, it's Kale says. Yeah, Trump doesn't talk about having Canada join us anymore. And I was joking about how it's like, why would we even take Canada? It doesn't make any sense. Canada is not a terrible place to live. It's really advanced. The people there are awesome. But, you know, America does so well the way it already is. We've got the lower taxes. We've got all the corporations. We would be trading up all those jobs and corporations to Canada. But I don't think we would get much out of that. You know, union, I don't think we'd get as much. Maybe we would, I don't know. But I think if I was Canadian, I'd be like, yeah. Give me an option to work for Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Amazon, Walmart, are these huge corporations that hire huge numbers of people with really great paying jobs and a way lower tax bracket. It's like, sign me up, dude. Sign me up. I want to build wealth. Here's Brian. All right, Brian. I would have been excited for that. And then also, you know, you'd have the option to move to a place like Florida, Hawaii, whatever you want. So you could go move to the nicest places in America if you wanted, or you could stay up in the Canadian states where it's a little bit colder. Brian, did you need a new bag? And what was really interesting about that thought of having Canada join was, and I don't think Canadians appreciated this enough because they got really offended at it, but you guys, you would have chosen the next president. American politics are so even, they're so close. It's just about 50-50. And so if you guys lean Democrat, if you lean to the left, you would have chosen the next president. It would have been your vote, would have been the tie-breaking vote would have come right out of Canada. So all of a sudden, you have so many new jobs opening up, so much opportunity, the ability to move anywhere you want to, the ability to go to university anywhere you want to, potentially much lower taxes, but now you have to pay for healthcare. There's a trade-off there, okay? But then also, you get to vote for the next president and actually probably select him. And that's probably why you don't hear Trump talk about that anymore, because some Republicans probably tapped him on the shoulder and said, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? It's proven Canadians vote Democrat. You're going to screw it up. Here's CS Man. He says, get the Dark Raichu into slab away. All right, Dark Raichu. Canada would never let us have a Republican leader again. Yeah, so something like that could happen. And pretty fast in America, you could see the rise of socialized healthcare, socialized education, college education. So, you know, you could just make America more like Canada anyways. So it would be like this huge opportunity, believe it or not. And so it's like, who's beating who? If there was a joining between Canada and the United States, it'd be the Canadians. They're the winners. And Trump would probably still go for it because he'd be like, I did that. I'm a consequential president. You know, that's what he'd say. So we're going to take $21 off of this for you. It would be a huge win for the Democrat Party, and it would be a huge win for the Canadians. You'd still have all of your country, but you'd have the ability to move somewhere warmer if you wanted without paying any fees. Because you know, Americans get to move between the states freely. Okay, so now it's going to be $13.79. And Mr. CS-Man, we're going to go ahead and put 20 of the $100 towards the slab away fee. Do you know what the number is on the queue? It's not too bad. The queue's not too long, I promise. Just wait for your name to be called out, okay? So, but we are working on this one. Let me jump over here. I'll take a quick look into it. Mr. CS-Man, starting Dark Raichu. CGC 10 for $1,379 minus $80. Actually, if we could this just be $13.80? That would make this easier. Let's do that. Does that matter? Does that upset you? I'm gonna say I'm gonna make my price $13.80 to make this simple, because now you owe $1,300 on it. That sound good? I like those round numbers. I round down sometimes too. I just like the round numbers. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Does it matter? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Here, let's stick to $13.79. I'm just being OCD. Do I sound OCD? I'm OCD. So this should be $1,299. There we go. Flexibility. Flexibility. I can be flexible. My mom wasn't flexible. She was insane. There we go. All right. So now we write your name on the back. Canada would never let us have a Republican again. Yes, the Canadian geese is always hell-bent on me for some reason. Like, why? Oh, Canada. I like Canada. They have some beautiful cities. Some of the most expensive real estate in the world, which must be tough for the people living there right now. Julio Chavez says, 1 Trick or Trade, 1 McDonald's Dragon Pack. Oh, okay. So we need a fresh box of the Trick or Trade, which is right over here. I already got it. Oh, yeah, and Joe G wants to know where he's at in the queue. So it goes Julio, then it goes Joseph, Joya. Joseph Joya, right? Okay, so, and that's all that's in the queue. There's only 2 people. It's not a long queue, guys. If you want to hop in and open up some cards, be sure to expand the description of the live stream and send in an order. Tonight's not a bad night. We're selling Dark Raichu to Mr. CS Man. We still have Hypno for sale. He's a cool card. He's a cool cat. Hypno. Look at all those trick-or-trades. What do you guys want to talk about, by the way? We don't have to talk about this. You know that, right, guys? I'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Could be anything at all. Could be about the taste of food. Could be a movie review. Could be TV shows. Could talk about how your girlfriend doesn't love you, but she won't tell you. Could be about how you're unable to break up with her, even though you know she's not the one or something like that. Whatever you want. We could talk about child rearing. We could talk about education. We could talk about how this rapper guy named David killed this 15-year-old girl he was with, which is like 2 crimes at the same time. And she was pregnant too. That's a lot. Funny you say healthcare. I waited 4 years for a specialist. Free. Healthcare is a joke. Right. It's never truly free, is it? And so people want sort of like the Santa Claus version of healthcare, and they don't want to think about how it's paid for, but it is paid for somehow. Healthcare is a finite resource. The workers, they are not slaves. They are not your slave that you can force to work. So they want to get paid a good wage for what they do. And the government, in order to try and pay for that healthcare, the government puts price caps on what they can sell, how much they can sell it for, how much they get paid. And then those doctors in Canada go, why am I here in Canada? I got to do whatever I can do to get into America where I can make real money. And then, so that's what happens. And you have a sort of brain drain out of the country. And then your country goes, well, where's all our doctors? Where's all our nurses? And it turns out they're in other countries. There it is. Very nice. Or it turns out they never went to school for medicine. They didn't want to. Doesn't pay enough. A guy really does sit down and he says, what do I want to do? 8 years to be a doctor, or do I want to become an investment banker? And even though he cares about being a doctor, man, it doesn't pay that well. But the investment banker gets paid well. So there is a real discussion that goes on in the minds of people. And so when you let your doctors pay whatever the market pays them, that is your best way to get as many doctors as possible. You get as many doctors as possible. This reduces wait times. And short wait times saves your life. It's literally life and death. If you have to have a long wait line, you will die. You will have people die from waiting in line. You can't have lines. They're really bad. It's like 1.3K, Mr. with 1.5% discount. Nice, dude. Mr. Thoughts on Nick Fuentes? Man, I keep hearing about that guy. I'd only heard about him a couple times in the past. What I knew about him is that he was sort of like this super racist guy. He's like, women shouldn't vote. The problem is black people and the Jews. So he's like everything stereotypically bad. He has all the worst ideas, like neo-Nazi and all that stuff. Am I allowed to say that word, or do you think YouTube hides the stream when I say that stuff? But anyways, so Charlie Kirk's dead now, and I bet you Nick Fuentes is having more influence as a result, because there's a lot of crazies on the right, just like there's crazies on the left. And they're probably more radical feeling after Charlie Kirk got shot. Because Charlie Kirk was like, he was like, Jesus and no peace. All right, one Halo pack. You got it, Mr. Joseph. So I would bet Nick Fuentes is enjoying a lot more attention. Here we are. But he's not a good guy. Anyways, his ideas are very extreme and definitely not the Republican platform. Here we are. All right. Republicans have to be careful not to sort of, have this masturbatory evil enjoyment of like this bad person with bad ideas, no matter how clever or charming he might be. There. Ooh, the Chief Redux. Those are bad ideas. They're old ideas. There we are. Okay, Master and Servant. I waited 4 years for a specialist free healthcare. Oh, what the hell? I'm so sorry, guys. I was on really old comments. I was not reading the recent comments. I'm so sorry. I just scrolled through like a whole list of comments. My bad. There we go. The funny part of Fuentes is Destiny platformed him and their views are polar opposites. People have talked about that. They've talked about how the far right and the far left have some unusual overlap. So like, for example, there are people in the leftist camp who absolutely hate Israel. And this is very ironic because somebody on the far right with conspiracies about the Jews control everything and they're trying to, flood the country with brown people or something like that. They surprisingly have a common enemy, and it's ridiculous, really. It's just kind of crazy to watch. Here's On the Ghost and The Eyes of the Chief. The Eyes of the Chief. Master Chief would solve all of this. Let's see. Mr. Explain. Oh, wait. Did I read that? Mr., you ever watch the show The Boys? Yeah, I did. I watched The Boys. We watched it. We loved that show. It was really fun. The Boys, I didn't think I'd like it, but it's not bad. Did you see Destiny getting demonetized on YouTube due to his comments on Charlie Kirk? I heard he got kicked off of Twitch or banned from Twitch or something like that too. We are On the Ghost. Yeah, he says something like, I know on the Piers Morgan show, he says something like, conservatives should be scared of being attacked, And so it really, that's pretty close to an incitement of violence. I think he said something slightly worse than that, didn't he? Master and servant. WTF kind of ducks hiss. Haha. What? All right. Just find a duck nest. We need a whole hollow chief. Double tap the screen to leave a like. I appreciate all the likes, guys. Thank you so much. We are. Halo 3, the Chief Redux. When it comes to political decisions, I'm a strong believer that the country has to have the smartest leaders in the world, and we have to always make the absolute 100% most intelligent decision all the time. Because that's the difference between winning and losing. It's just like who's making the smartest choices. And so I don't really focus on like the religious perspective. I also don't really focus on like left versus rightism. Doesn't matter to me. We have to be making the most intelligent decision all the time as a country, and that's it. And so that we can win. And the goal really is to have prosperity. So that you could say money is sort of what leads me, which kind of makes sense. I'm into Pokemon cards and investing and all this stuff. Mr. Joseph, let's find your bag. We have to be making the smartest choice all the time. All right, let's see. Ooh. I like it when politicians talk about like investing and stuff like that. I get excited for that. There we go. Ooh. Let's see. Have you watched Gen V? It's in the same universe. Oh, I've not watched that. Very interesting. I'll have to watch that. No one should be terrorized. By the way, let me go ahead and go into all messages because I realize I might not even be seeing everybody's messages. Pikachu giveaway? Oh, let's give out another spot in the Pikachu giveaway right now. Yeah, when it comes to the political opinions on this channel, anyone is welcome, left or right. We're like Switzerland. That's how I talk, right? I say we're like Switzerland. So if you're all the way on the left, you're welcome to come here and get Pokemon. If you're all the way on the right, you're welcome to come in here and get Pokemon. And we might talk about stuff, but all that matters to me, the most important thing to me, Pokemon cards, hands down, all the way, no question. Here goes. We got Issy. We are. I don't really, if we get a Democrat or Republican or somebody this or that, in the end, what will matter most to me is my card collection is very good, not who is currently in charge of the country for a short period of time. And we'll talk politics just because, it's just something to talk about, really. Okay. Of course, it really does affect some people. Maybe that's part of my privilege is that I'm not too affected any of the time by some of the policies. And maybe that's a sign that I've done a good job in life. It's my birthday. Give me a spot. What? Is it that easy? Happy birthday. I'll blow on your ear. Hey, birthday boy. So here's Toasty Space Ghost. He says, box of solo leveling, please. HR double star. You got it, man. All right, this is for Toasty Space Ghost. Solo leveling. This set is suddenly selling a lot more. Very nice. What the... Mr. Israel is buying TikTok. Is it? I know Donald Trump oh, that's another subject, really. So it's my opinion that Donald Trump should not be buying TikTok from China because it's very easy for ByteDance and China to just make a new TikTok in like 2 seconds. And out of spite, a lot of Americans and a lot of people around the world are just going to go over to that platform. That's my opinion. So it's not like they're banned from just making an absolute clone of TikTok. So they're really just selling the brand over to the United States. I guarantee you it's going to be some really lopsided deal where America pays ridiculous amounts of money for it that we should not be spending on a social media platform because we already have social media platforms. We got YouTube, we got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got others, we got X, and a lot of others too that are smaller and you don't give them any attention and they should have a chance to rise. But instead, the government's going to state-sponsor TikTok because Trump's going to make a deal on TikTok. TikTok should have been banned. Yes, it is a foreign social media company. It's a great product. I use it all the time. It's hilarious. But we can make it ourselves. And the difference is this. We let them come into our country with the TikTok app and make like literally billions of dollars in ad revenue. But they won't let us do that in their markets. It's very unfair. We can't sell them Facebook. We can't sell them YouTube. We can't sell them Instagram. They don't allow it. They block us. So we let them sell TikTok for billions in ad revenue, and then they block Facebook. It's not right. It's very unfair. And so we should have just blocked TikTok and said, keep it. We'll make our own version. That's what we should have done. Some people might not agree with my opinion on that, but I think that's the smartest move. Now what are we going to do? Now we're going to buy it from them for how much money? That's my tax doll. What if I don't want to buy it? What if I want the money spent on like infrastructure or something meaningful instead of like a software company where you don't even know if it's going to be valuable 10 years from now? That's what happens to tech companies. They disappear sometimes. And anyone can make one. You can just make another one. China can make a new TikTok right afterwards. So it doesn't really make any sense to me. I think it's an ego move. I think it's a pride move. I think Donald Trump wants to be able to say, hey, I got us TikTok. Don't you like me now? No one thought it was possible. He's going to do one of those. And it's probably going to be way, way, way overpriced. But we'll have to see those details. I don't know. So, honestly, when people say X all the time, I'm thinking of the hub. Yeah, I was pretty critical when Elon changed Twitter to X. I thought, what is that, like a sex website or something? Like what? Triple X is a that's sexuality. The name of it's X. Like, how did you arrive at that? What made you want to do that? He's such an edgelord. You know what I mean? All right, what we got? This is your promo pack. The promo packs, by the way, can carry a big hit. We know they can because we pulled one before. Oh, Rank S, Sung Jin Woo. He's so powerful. I thought he was a Rank E hunter. I can hear it now. TikTok's a good app. Great app. Some say the best app. Yeah. TikTok's the best app. No one thought it could be done. But I did it. I got it. I brought it here into America. Oh. All right. Ooh. How about when he was in the UK with King Charles and he was tripping over himself over there? He liked it so much. You could just tell. Trump's he's a pageantry guy. That's what it actually makes a lot of sense. That's what he is. He wants the ballroom in the White House. He's paying for it with his own money to put a ballroom in the White House. Man, he is a he wants the nobility, man. He wants the titles. I guarantee you he wishes he could have, Duke Trump or something. He named his son Baron, okay? What do you think he was thinking when he did that? So he's definitely into all that stuff, but he can't have it because he lives here in America. All right, let's see. Mr. I will get my own PSA submission like LaFlame got last month. I'm just curious. Will I get my own PSA submission? Probably not. I don't think you would. I think your stuff will just fit in like a normal submission. Unless you suddenly send me like 20 more cards, maybe. There it is. Rose Garden was better. X pretty much is like the hub, now mixed with drama and politics. Oh, yeah, that place is crazy, dude. That is one of the social medias I don't go toward very often because it's so toxic. It's a very toxic place. Here's Voltorb. Here's Mew. Here's the Gengar break. We have a new break that you guys might be interested in. Are you guys watching? Check this out. So that is an Astral Radiance box break. It is a 1 in 16 odds, and it's for a whole box of Astral Radiance. You get the whole box to yourself. You can immediately open it, or you can leave it sealed. We will assume you want it sealed unless you tell us to open it. Rose Garden was better. What are we talking about? No Duke. Sup, Tops Opening King. The Chicago Bears better stomp the Dallas Cowboys to the floor in their game later on today. Good luck to the Chicago Bears. Cody Truth, fantastic box. In a 10, it's like a 500. He has been wanting to brand something X from the start. He wanted PayPal to be called X. The freedom of speech comes with the consequence. Something. All right. Yeah, I remember that whole time period where Americans were feeling kind of angry at sort of like a tech monopoly on deplatforming, and then Elon Musk kind of stood up and said, "I'm buying Twitter." Steven Gonzalez, junk packs. That was a really crazy time period. You guys remember that? And then he kind of wanted to back out of the deal because it was like overpriced because the stock market fell right afterwards. Here we go. And then I remember right after he purchased it, he went in to the headquarters carrying like an actual kitchen sink. There it is, because, you know, the idea was he was going to fire everybody, which he did. He fired like everybody. He kept like a handful of people in the company, and then everyone was speculating how, oh, look how he fires everybody. The whole thing's going to collapse. And it never collapsed. Did not collapse. It did have some bumps, some hiccups, but it did not collapse. And it's, in my opinion, it's still pretty relevant as a social media app. It's weird. It feels like 4chan a little bit. It fills a niche. It's like a sort of mainstream 4chan. That's what it is. And so it fills a niche. It really does. King Babam. Diane Hypnotized. Okay, you got, this is an empty booster pack. It's just a little fun. Here's some girl cards. Here is, no thanks. Why does this have like Bill Cosby vibes out the wazoo? Okay, here's the Creeper, and here's Gas Tier, and a little promo. Any big pulls tonight so far? Yeah, we had an Altart Venusaur come out. We're ready for some more, though. We want to see some more big pulls. It didn't collapse. It is a disaster. More bots than ever, which was one thing he vowed to fix. It was when they banned Kanye West. Oh, Kanye West. Kanye West. What's up with Kanye West these days? Is he up to anything interesting? That guy went kind of nuts, didn't he? He's like, I love, you know, Mustache Man. Yeah. It's kind of like, you all right? He just kind of went all the way, didn't he? Look at that. Yeah, he went nuts, dude. I missed old Kanye. Here we are. I wasn't really ever a Kanye fan, but it's pretty crazy watching a person have like such a sort of like extreme point of view. And I feel like, was he just doing it for attention? Did he really believe all that? But he seems like the type where, you know, he could be just kind of losing his mind all the time or something. What do we got here? Okay, what's this? My troll card in Mega Evolution is the Fighter Gong full art item card. Pikachu, birthday Pikachu. Oh, look at that. It says save that for the 100K giveaway, huh? That's cool. Okay, what do we have over here then? Mister, what was that Mimikyu in the tag? It was a cool Mimikyu. Secret. Oh, yeah. So I have 4 of these James C. Cathcart cards. Should I consider selling any more of them? They're all pretty cool. This is a fruit roll-up promo. Did you know those even existed? This card right here. Set that there. Looking at some potential cards to sell, to sale. Espeon VMAX, Shining Ho-Oh's interesting. Psychic King, huh? Game Boy Lugia, Gyarados. Oh, yeah. Look at these, huh? Wow. Checklist is cool. Give me that one, the fruit roll-up one. Psychic King Tyranitar. That Game Boy Lugia is bootyful. He's pretty bootyful. Okay, give me a second here. Those are all really fun subjects. What else you guys want to talk about tonight? Those were some good subjects. What's this number? 043? That's too bad. I bought this one for like 40 bucks. And now there's one for sale for like $120, and then you can't find it cheaper than that. Dang, dude. What is this music? Let me skip this music. It's like some kind of piano concerto thing going on. Zelda and... Oh, wait. Okay, that's fine. Conspiracy theories? Which ones would you guys like to talk about? I hear there's a lot of conspiracies about how Charlie Kirk died. Like, oh, Mossad did it or something. Oh, he spoke up against Israel. So people are really into that stuff. 9/11 went by. People are still, they're into like the, oh, actually the buildings were killed on purpose. So that's a conspiracy theory. Another one would be like the Titanic was on purpose. Remember that one? So the Titanic on purpose, that's a conspiracy theory. A lot of them are kind of like anti-Semitic conspiracies. People are really into that stuff. Heath Davis. I feel like Star Wars Galaxy from Mr. Heath. I feel like this is kind of a turbulent time for the Jewish people because of the war going on in the Middle East. Gives them a lot of ire from the Democrat Party. But then also they were never really, not under attack from people on the far right who are into really severe, I'm talking about, like those guys. So I feel like they're under a lot of pressure right now. Yeah, look at that. 9/11 is also said to be Israel as a conspiracy. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, look at that. Ooh. So nowadays, everything that happens, it's Mossad. The juice. Ooh, look at this, Leia. Now, to be clear, when it comes to conspiracy, I don't really believe in anything until there's some serious evidence of it. So conspiracies never push me one way or the other. Personally, that's how I am. I understand that things could be that way, but I'm a real pragmatic person. I have to have real evidence or I won't believe it. This is also the reason why it's hard for me to be very religious. It's the same way with religion. Like, you can be like, maybe there's a guy in the sky, and I'd be like, sure there is. But, I need to see some evidence. And so that's what kind of person I am. It's just my personality. Look at that. Look at that, Leia. Okay, Jesus made me that way. Mr. Heath. All right, let's grab your bag, Mr. Heath. All right. I might grade that. The Sexy Leia, I love this card. That's why she got her own sleeve. That's a Sexy Leia Slave Leia card. And anytime we run into those, I sleeve them up. Everything's a conspiracy now. Hey, mister, you've been... he says, how you been? What do you think about how when Charlie died, Ben Shapiro said he would pick up the bloody mic? So he's referring to the idea that, Charlie Kirk got killed on stage doing sort of like the work, the work of spreading ideas, debating. And Ben Shapiro saying, hey, his mission of talking to people is not over. I'm going to pick up his microphone and keep it going. I'll go to the college campuses and I'll talk to the students. And actually, I think it was Steven Crowder who started that. Isn't that interesting? Steven Crowder, who got kicked off of YouTube, and I believe he streams on one of those decentralized platforms or whatever they are. Back when, again, there was a big conversation about tech monopoly, actually censoring people so that you literally can't talk anywhere. So there was a big talk about that back in the day. And so he went to one of those websites. And so you never hear clips of him. You never see him anymore. And, but yeah, he was interesting. He started that Change My Mind thing. Remember that? Change My Mind? He was all about that. Ooh. He's on Rumble. That's what it is Rumble. What Pokemon do you think that looks really mean is super kind on the inside? Looks mean, but kind on the inside. That's tricky. I don't know. You'd have to put a list together of the meanest Pokemon, first of all, and then you'd have to compare them and wonder which one's the nicest one. Mankey, Beware, Rayquaza. Here it is. It's a good question. All right, that is Karuta Lugia, graded CGC 10. Hypno, nah, Hypno's evil. He's definitely evil. What are you talking about? Hypno's as evil as could be. He's like the Pied Piper. He's evil as hell, dude. He's like eating people's dreams, giving them nightmares. All right. Jinx? Nah. Who's to say Jinx was mean? I don't think Jinx was mean. Rihanna. He streams on Rumble. Seven Crowder. Ben Shapiro didn't have the appeal and charisma that Crook did. He's too dry. I don't know if that's necessarily true that Ben Shapiro fully lacked the charisma that Charlie Kirk had. But there was a really significant difference between Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, and it's really simple. It's the religion. Charlie Kirk was a Christian, and Ben Shapiro was Jewish. And it's very hard to have the success that Charlie Kirk had as a Jewish man in America, because you've got, again, the far right doesn't like you, and the far left now doesn't like you. But if you're a Christian, it's much easier because America was kind of mostly Christian. And so you just get sort of like a very easy mainstream support because you're a very safe candidate that way. And like, I don't think we've had any president that's openly Jewish, right? I don't think that's a thing. Mainly the presidents have all claimed to be Christian. Even Obama was like Christian, right? So Lugia. So I think that Ben Shapiro also kind of leaned into his defense of Israel strongly during all this time period. And, you know, he believes strongly in Israel defending itself against Hamas and freeing the hostages and all that stuff. And so that's just going to keep him in a position where he's very controversial, because a lot of people don't agree with him and think, oh, well, you know, Israel just wanted the land and they're committing genocide. And so there's a lot of that debate going on right now. Okay, there we go. Beautiful Lugia here. Stubble was mean in the OG movies. Ben is actually Jewish? I thought it was a bit. No, he's like super Jewish. He is a conservative Jewish man who has a strong faith in the Jewish religion. And he's not like secular. He really believes it. And so there's a lot of secular Jewish politicians too. Like, who's the guy on the left that everybody likes? Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. He's secular. And so, you know, he's not practicing the religion necessarily. Here we are. There we go. All right. Very fascinating conversation tonight. Here's Jose. Oh, what the hell? Let me hit refresh. It's time for me to sleep, says Heath. Heath, sleep. You're going to get hit with that hypno sleep attack. Barack Hussein Obama, a Christian. He said he was. Just because his middle name's Hussein. He's never implied that he, you know, is part of any faith. Actually, if I had to bet, Obama's definitely secular. He's definitely non-religious. So, you know, just because your parents give you a name doesn't mean anything. I think that's unfair. So Jose Trevino says 3 Trump, 3 Pokey Japanese White, 3 Simpsons, 2 Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, I love it. Let's get it, man. 2 Full Metal Alchemist. All right. 3 of the Simpsons. I got to stand up for the Simpsons. I think I also have to get a fresh box of the Pokemon White. Let's get those Playboy packs. All right, 1, 2, 3. 3 Simpsons, 3 Pokemon White. I'll be right back. Let's go get the Pokemon White. Wait, let me make sure it's not in here. So we've got 1 pack. Do we have another box? No. I don't think we do. Can I get one last roll for the Pikachu? I can't do that. We're 103 minutes in. We need to be 2 hours in. All right, so there is the Pokemon White. Let me go get the Simpsons and the rest of the White packs. Okay. All right, and here are the Simpsons packs. Oh, there's an Astral Radiance box right here. What's this doing? Well, I guess that box just sits there. That's weird. Okay. Astral Radiance. Whew. Okay. There we go. Very good. Okay. TCC. Time for the SIR. I'm staying for this order. So we got one of these and two of these. There we go. Lovely. Thank you so much, Jose Trevino. When you guys place an order, you don't just support me in paying down my mortgage and maybe collecting more cards myself. You really keep us all entertained, which is part of the value of opening cards here, handing us some cool entertainment. Okay, cool. Here goes. Those are nice. Did you ever have a product that was ever resealed? Yep. Ran into that. Last time I ran into that was really long time ago with VMAX Climax, and I had to work with the guy who sold it to me to get it all fixed. And to his credit, he fixed it and remains to this day a guy who supplies my cards. Here's Maggie Simpson. There's Maggie. There we go. Don't bug me. I'm studying, man. Here's Who Do You Think You Are? Thomas Edison. Bart! Kids out there in TV land, you're being duped. All right, America's Most Armed and Dangerous is on. Look, Homer, clean as a whistle. Why, you little? Let's break for a commercial. And there is justice in the world, Maggie. I'm glad to be part of this community here. Yeah, we have fun. We have fun. Tonight's been a night where we have been talking a lot about maybe the news. We haven't been making any strong arguments politically, I'd say. We've just been talking a little bit about what's been going on. It's an interesting conversation. We started talking a little bit about conspiracy. I think all that stuff gives people stress, but what I have to say to you guys is don't let it eat at you, because honestly, much of this stuff going on does not affect you. Here's Bartman, Avenger of Evil. Watch it, dude. Biting is unsanitary and rude. You know, I think we make this mistake when it comes to the subject of politics of letting it become like our obsession and the thing that we're paying all of our attention to. And we forget that you're supposed to just be having a good Saturday. You're supposed to be going outside for a walk. You're supposed to be going out to eat or baking cookies at home, or, you know, smushing your genitals together, whatever it is that you do. And much of that stuff doesn't really affect you. Here's Maggie. People forget that. I'm Bart Simpson. Who the heck are you? Of course, if you were actually a resident of Israel or, let's say, Palestine, they're having fun. Same with Ukraine. Those guys are having fun. But you're over here in America, and we're really far away from all that. And that's the best part of living here. And let's keep it that way. We are? All right. I enjoy being able to talk politics in a calm way. Can't talk with some of my friends because they go nuclear right away. You are? Here's the All-American Family. Wow, that's a great one. I really like this. This features all of the family members of The Simpsons. I'm not a 32-year-old woman. Oh, now wait a second. They can't make him write that. There we go. All right. Very cool, man. I like that. Here's ha 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 ha. Here's don't come out till you sparkle, boy. I think for some people, politics has crossed over into this region of their brain where it's not just like ideas. It's more like religion. And that's what's going on in 2025. Which one of you ate my last donut? But then other people are really affected by some of the decisions too. So for them, it's actually pretty important. Yeah. But you know, a lot of people don't go to church anymore, especially us younger groups like millennials, Gen Z. We don't do church as much, or at least if we do, we don't take it all as seriously. We're not as devout. We're not as like, you know, we're not super conservative about it. And, you know, that causes us to take up other causes, maybe something in politics, right? So instead of caring about, did I pray today, you start to care about who wins and who loses on the battlefield of ideas. And you can get really wrapped up into it. But, you know, you should probably just leave that stuff for the people who are getting paid to be involved in that stuff. You know, there are people who get paid to talk about politics, to be a politician, to be an activist. If that's not you, don't let it dominate your life. Don't let it worry you too much. There. Don't break up with any family members over it. Don't lose friends over it. It's not worth it. Holy grandma. It's crazy to think. So when did this one come out? I believe that says 1984. That one came out in 1984, so it's 20 years old. So if she was 20 when she did this, let me think. Let me do the math. Actually, so it's about 20. So she'd be about 41. She's not that old. Some of these are really old, though. Oh, there it is, the Playboy Trump card. So there's two Playboy Trump cards. There's the main one, and then there's the cover art one, and you just pulled the cover art one. Do you think Antarctica is really holding secrets? I've heard rumors that world powers have built bunkers up there during World War II to survive any attack. I don't know how true that is. Does it really matter? There he is, down in the bottom corner. Pretty neat. Okay. COVID caused a huge drop of church attendance, and they never came back. Mister, do you remember those times when XY Evo and Cosmic Eclipse boxes were like $400? Yeah, those were good times, man. Those were really good times. Actually, when I first started selling XY Evo, it was 5 for $20, $4 a pack. And when I got on eBay, they cost $100 to $150 a box. That's all they cost. That was when I got started. And so I bought a whole bunch of cases of them. I bought more than I needed because they were selling so fast. So I bought some ahead of time. And then suddenly overnight, they shot up in price and exploded. And I still had 6 cases left. And all of a sudden, I was sitting on all this money because, you know, they sell so quickly, so easily. They're so desirable. And you can convert those boxes into cash quite quickly. Now, I think I only have 2 cases of that left. I've been selling through it this whole time, sadly. But that's okay because, you know, I used that money to buy other Pokemon cards. So this is just kind of how it goes. But it's still going up in price. It's really incredible. I was checking prices right now, and holy, yep, it's all doing that. It's all doing that. In 88, I was 7. I'm 43 now. Nice, dude. We are. I was born in 1989, so I don't have any memories of the 80s. However, I was growing up in the 90s, and the 90s was still sort of, you know, replaying the 80s movies on the television. The music was still not that old, you're right? It was actually pretty recent. So girls just want to have fun and all that other cool stuff. So, you know, I got a taste of the 80s to a certain degree, and I have to say, I think it's way, way better than what we have now. The 80s and the 90s, but especially the 80s. Like I didn't live through it, but you can just tell. People were like, there's like more of a humanitarian feeling to them. Like they were more human. Now we're all so like, we're like incels and hikikomoris. Even myself, I'm so like indoors to myself, private. But you could tell in the 80s, there was no tech, there was no internet yet. Everyone went out. And that was true in the 90s. I saw that in the 90s because I was there when AOL launched. And, you know, AOL didn't dominate anyone's life yet. I had the fat Game Boy, the gray Game Boy. I didn't own it. My cousin owned it. I wasn't allowed to have games. But, you know, the neighbors had it too. And so I remember the introduction of these things. The world was a very different place. Your whole entertainment in life didn't revolve around Netflix or anime or cards, not yet, because Pokemon was about to launch at the end of the 1990s, it was. But your whole life revolved around your relationships with people. And that kept you in touch with something very human. It made you a very social animal. And it like made you more receptive to like touch, like hugs and stuff like that, shaking hands. It was like real. Now all of that stuff, we're so far away from that. We're like aliens now. We're like, aliens, you know what it is? We're all like in our own spaceship, in space, suspended. We're all in spaceships now, looking down at Earth, on our Netflix, on our video games. And we love it because video games are great. But man, it was very different back then, man. It was a very different feeling. And again, I only remember like 1994, 1995, that time period, right? And if you actually grew up in the 80s, and it looks anything like it looks like on TV and in the news, it was a really nice period for the United States. Kids could go outside without worrying about being shot or molested. Actually, wasn't that slightly not true? There was the development of, so they could go to school without worrying about mass shootings. But there was like a string of concern amongst parents where they started to become very aware of kidnappings and, you know, people messing with your kids. So I don't know when that began, but maybe that didn't gain attention until later. But I do know that gained attention at some point in the media and in the household. But yeah, actually, you know, you hear people talk, especially people from like the 70s, talked about how when they were children, you really just were on your own and you had to have some, you know, like some alley cat survival skills, because if you didn't, you could get like beaten to death, or like, you know, you could really get messed up if you put yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time and spoke the wrong way to people, or hung out with the wrong people. There were no parents around to save you. And you get that feeling from like the Stephen King books and stuff like that. Like when you watch the movie It, with the kids on the bicycles just going way out. Also in Stranger Things, they kind of mimic that too. So people just go way out. No cell phones, no one's keeping track of them. They're just way out in the middle of nowhere on their own. And you could just do that back then because nobody was the wiser about the risks of, well, having your kid kidnapped. Jose Trevino, very interesting. And we've lost all that. And, you know, it's a curious thing to lose. That's sort of like, maybe like courage or bravery. I don't know what you would call it. All right, wait, don't you have a box? You do have a box. It's a curious thing to lose. Okay. All right. 40 packs? All 40 packs. Who bought 40? I have 40 cases of tops from 1995 unopened with gum still inside, trying to sell them. Want to help me or buy them? What? It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, eventually we get Chris Hansen, too. Whew. Boy, that reshaped America real fast. That guy did. Yeah, it was an interesting thing. It's a really interesting thing. But, you know, I think that it's kind of healthy to have your children be able to take some risks. But the problem with that is then they're taking a risk. You're rolling the dice. But I know my dad had me take risks when I was younger, and I feel like it played into my personality quite a bit. I tell this story sometimes, one of the biggest risks he ever had me take, I didn't have a permit to drive, or whatever they call it, and I didn't have a driver's license. I was like 15, and he had a pickup truck, and it had 2 crates of wood in it that weighed about 1,000 pounds each. So he had this big truck used for hauling wood for his wood business, and he made me drive the truck down the highway for like 30 minutes to home. I had no practice driving ever. It was my first time. It was just drive it home. And I don't know why he was in the mood to get me to do that, but he wanted me to like practice driving right away. It was super illegal, super dangerous. And, you know, and so I did it because I wanted to test it out. But I don't want to be, you know, what he did was wrong. So I don't want to say you should do this with your kids. Honestly, it's a bad thing. But it was one of those dangerous moments where I did something I wasn't supposed to be doing. And it's weird because it leaves a mark in your memory of taking this unusual risk that you really shouldn't be taking. And I feel like that was just one example. There were other examples too. There were quite a few examples actually. So he was just kind of let us do stuff. And I feel like that plays out into your personality, you know, as an adult. When it's time to do something like take a business risk, you go, there's 2 paths ahead of me. I could just be careful and do nothing and relax and sit down and watch Netflix. Or I could go crazy and just go do this thing that I don't know if it's going to succeed or not. And you got to go with the crazy, because that's what gets you, you know, exploring, testing things out, finding out what your boundaries are, what your capabilities are. You got to take the risks, and you have to be of that mindset. How many spots for the Pikachu Ace of Diamonds? Oh, there's spots. Let's see. That's how we learn. I practiced driving through go-karts. Threw you in the deep end. Yeah, it was really scary. I had no clue what I was doing. And he just expected me to learn it really fast, and I totally did. I drove us home. And but there were other crazy moments that were just like that. Like we lifted up like this massive tree log using a crane, and he got all of us boys underneath the log to lift it, and we were just strong enough to lift it. And if any of us gave out or were too weak, it would crush us. And I had like younger brothers helping, and they're not as clever as I am. They could have really gotten smushed by it. It was extremely dangerous. I was like, what are we doing? But we did it. We moved it. Then there were other examples. Like he put me in charge of like these big saw blades. And I once cut my finger really bad on it, but I luckily didn't cut through the bone. He put me in charge of all these crazy things and just expected me to do it and didn't teach me or train me on it. And he's just like, you figure it out. And it wasn't quite a laziness. It was just sort of this belief that I was going to be smart enough to do it, you know? And so, I don't know, that leaves a good impression, even though the risk is I screw it all up, but I didn't. So it's like, it was a good thing. So it's weird that life's like that, you know, because there's all these rules and guidelines and don't do this and don't do that. And this is what you're supposed to do with your children. And yeah, it's weird. The reality is you don't have to truly do any of those things. You could break all the rules and then you could go to jail, but you can break them. Look at this Galarian Moltres. It's so nice. You are? I appreciate the time. I'll reach out soon. Have a great day. Thanks, man. All right. So what do we have here? Galarian Moltres. Yeah, I was like 13 years old running a gigantic bandsaw while my dad took my mom out for dinner. And it was like, neighbor kids were like peering into the garage going, what the hell's this guy doing? He shouldn't be doing that. And it was very abnormal. I was 13. I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't lose any fingers. But it left me feeling like, wow, I'm in charge of this big, powerful, dangerous machine. And there's no parent to supervise me at all. Wow, this is so expensive. What the hell? This is so expensive. I can't believe how expensive this is. I would have to run a regular break on this. I would have to run a regular break on this card. That's crazy. I'm going to place this over here for now. Looking for something to add to the table if possible. I don't think I have anything I can add. I think these are all waiting to turn into breaks, basically. I think what we got to start doing is rotating some of the slabs back onto the table. All right, Ditto Hollow. Oleana. Ooh, the Piranha Plant, though. Look at that. That says Mario on it, like it was going to be a Mario break. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on over here. How about you guys? Do you guys have any interesting stories about your childhood where you were in a dangerous situation you shouldn't have been in? I'd love to hear some stuff like that from you guys. I want to, you know, it's fun to learn from each other. So you guys get to hear some of my stories, some of my unusual experiences that, you know, sort of built my character up. What about you guys? What were some character changing moments for you when you were growing up? Wow, not too expensive at all, actually. Okay, you ready? So this is a vintage 1989 Mario card printed by Bandai Namco for Super Mario 3. And it's only 100 and, what is it? Getting a bidet. So it's going to be 165. I don't know how I feel about bidets. They're all right. I tried a bidet out this year. It was okay. I was like, I don't know. I will buy any Rayquaza card that's not $1,000. If only I had a whole bunch of Rayquazas for you. You know what happened to all my Rayquazas, Mr. Rain? They bought them all. They bought them all. There's none left. Every time I have a Rayquaza, guess what happens to it? It's sold immediately. We are. All right, let's see. But we sell a lot of slabs, you know. Every night we sell a lot of slabs. Whether it be the live customs or the Poke Shuffles. Would you guys like to see the slabs that are still in the Poke Shuffles? So the Poke Shuffle is a $5 product that gives you a chance for a slab. And here are all the slabs in the Hollow Shuffle. Let's see. So, Bulbasaur, Charmander from Crystal Guardians, this coin. Here's a nice 10 Snorlax. Here's Beedrill Poker, and here is a nice PSA 10 Rocket Returns Onyx. That's nice. That's really nice. Here is a no rarity Dratini, a nice Tag 10 Sylveon. This is really nice. Tag 9 Flareon. Ooh, from Rocket. Some Rainbow Hollow Topps cards, but they're not 10s, but they're in there at a good price. If they were 10s, they would cost multiple hundreds of dollars. Little square cut Nidorina. Here's a nice Hello Kitty. Here's a Raichu 9. We got a Vending Series Pidgeotto 10. Team Rocket Giovanni Alternative Art 9. Here's a nice little Zapdos 10. Here's Mega Venusaur from XY. Here's a nice Legendary Collection Beedrill. Here's Palafin 10. Gardevoir 10. We've got Zapdos 10. And then also this $120 Jolteon 9 of Diamonds that replaced a Cubone apparently. and a Master Ball Dust Cult. That's all the slabs in the Poke Shuffle. So when you buy a $5 Poke Shuffle, you have a random chance for a slab to pop out for $5, or you might just pull a common card. It's one of the most popular products on the channel. We've been selling it for years. It never runs out of popularity. It's a nice Piranha Plant, $165 for that. Again, this is vintage Piranha Plant, probably low pop. I bought a couple of these Carddass Mario cards a little while back because a bunch of them went into auction, and I like Mario cards. Did you know that? Let's see. Population 36. All right. Good. Good. What do we have here? We have, this says multi-slab break. Weird. $35 on it, huh? Dan from Street Fighter, but he's an 8. I don't think I'm going to raise the price on this one. I'm going to keep this one around $35. I don't really know what he's worth. I don't know what the multi-slab break meant. Okay, we're going to say 35. 9.25. Okay. Tossing that away. Let's see if any orders came in. The queue is empty. If you're interested in placing an order, check the top right corner of the screen for the 3 little white dots, and that'll open up the menu for you, okay? It's in the description of the stream. We have a new break available now. It is this Astral Radiance 1 in 16 box break. One person gets the whole box for $40. Okay. All right, double tap the screen to like. For the past 20 years of my life, they have been really uneventful. The past 20 years of your life have been uneventful? That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, everyone wants an uneventful life to a certain degree. Ooh, what do you think this Greninja's going for now? Remember when we hosted a break on the Greninja and it sat there forever? And I'm like, he's a good one. And nobody cared. Nobody wanted in. What was he? He was like, I can't remember how many spots were in him, like 10 spots or something like that. What's he go for now? Gray Ninja. I remember that one just took forever to end. It was like really painful. I think he eventually became a star break. Do you guys remember that? And it looks like the cheapest PSA 10 of this card is now. Check this out. Check this out. $770 for the cheapest one is unbelievable. That's crazy. He's so cheap. He's so expensive in the past and cheap in the past in that break. And it was so hard to get you guys into it. Look, it says here that I bought 2 of them, one for $300, one for $338. So I probably had one for $317, and I bet I had like 11 spots in it or something like that, or 12. That is a crazy price. Yeah, cheapest one now $700. Gray Ninja Gold Star. Everyone wants a Gold Star, huh? I bought this for the breaks. I bought this for the breaks. This Dark for Alligator for the breaks. These were all purchased for slab breaks, and we are running slab breaks right now. We will get new breaks up, but the current ones have to finish. That is the rule. We have this Nido King with 3 spots left. This Cloud is moving real fast this weekend. He went from 5 spots to 13 spots in like a day. So this guy had some crazy momentum like yesterday, but we're waiting for more people to jump in there. $40 for a chance at this Cloud. This is, you know how base set Charizard is for Pokemon? This is the base set Charizard for Final Fantasy. This card right here, if you've never heard of it before, if you're brand new to Final Fantasy card collecting, he's the original holographic Cloud from the Opus 1 collection back in 2016. That makes this card 9 years old. It's 9 years old now. Pretty neat. Here's also this really cool playing card Bowser, the Joker card from 2015. It's a 10-year-old card. On the back, we also have an Ace of Clubs Mario. You can't see it. It's kind of hidden there. But this is a, you know what, let's get this so that you can see it. Let's give it its own bag. So this is an ongoing break. It's a non-Pokemon break. I like to have some non-Pokemon breaks all the time. So we have this Mario and this Bowser running at the same time. That means whoever pulls it gets both cards. Your odds are 1 in 8, and there's a star card in this break. Come on now. There it is. That's a crazy price. I feel like my life of 40 years has been one blank show after another, and that it never got any better. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, I feel like my life was really, really, really bad for a while. Like, it was pretty dark. I suffered with a lot of like strong depression because of my traumatic childhood, and then dealing with the severe financial struggles after I ran away and I never returned. And I took care of myself all the way to today. And life was pretty bad, especially there was a bad breakup too at some point. And so I went through the ringer. I really went through a lot. And it made me super tough though, so that's a good thing, right? And now I'm older and I can think about it all. Now I'm older and I can dab my tears with Pokemon cards. Yeah, oh no, it's so tough. So the thing is, if your life is still a little bit crazy, maybe you can talk about it and solve some of the things you want to change. Because sometimes life is just like, diagnose the problem, create a plan, and then execute the plan. Diagnose the next problem, create a plan, execute the plan. And so if you're still struggling in some ways, maybe you're lacking some courage to do some of the things that you know have to be done. It could be something crazy like a breakup. You might need to break up with somebody, or it could be something crazy like you might need a new job, or, you know, because it takes a lot of courage to do those things. You don't think it does, but it takes a lot of courage to change your pattern, to change your routine, to take a risk. We were just talking about risk taking, you know, and it's hard to do that stuff. It really is. But if you do not take that risk, if you don't make a change, it will kind of just play out the way it already is, and it'll just stay that way forever. So, and that's fine too. If you're satisfied enough with the way it is, you don't want to, you know, rock the boat. You know, if you don't want to poke the bear, then maybe you just play it out the way it is. But if you're really unhappy with life, if you're really dissatisfied, diagnose, create a plan, execute the plan. So that's what you got to do. You got to diagnose exactly what's wrong, be honest, and decide how it gets solved too, you know. I have a terrible depression from my childhood, mister, so I understand that. You know, what I've found through this channel is that lots of people had lots of bad experiences in childhood. So, you know, I don't like to wallow too much, but I talk a lot, so you'll hear a lot. But, you know, I don't take it for granted that I'm still alive and life worked out pretty well. So in the end, what can I cry about? Beatrice says, can I get 5 Poke Shuffles? And so there were people who all over the place have had bad experiences, not just me. And we can relate to those and share and talk about it and maybe even sort out some of the bad feelings. Here it is. All right, Beatrice, good luck. 5 of these. Ultimately, deep down, ultimately, what I had to come to the conclusion to is that, you know, what you have to be careful about with the bad childhood shaping your behaviors and your personality, you have to be careful with like problems like low self-esteem or like, you know, compensating or something like that for the fact that your parents really kind of rejected you. You got rejected by your parents in some way. They didn't meet your needs. You know, they didn't love you enough. They didn't approve of you enough, whatever it is. But that's some of the worst feelings because it's like, you know, when it comes to a maybe like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's okay if that person doesn't love you because you can just get a new person. But when your parent doesn't treat you right, you know, it's pretty structurally damaging to your identity and your self-esteem. And I think that's why you run into these young men who are super sort of like fierce. They're always comparing you to them. They're always trying to get into some kind of fight, some kind of one-upmanship, some kind of nasty thing. They're trying to get revenge, or they're trying to stir up some kind of fight. They're compensating for the fact that they don't like themselves or somebody they care about didn't like them. And so they have to sort of like prove themselves or find some way to put themselves higher up in a hierarchy where they feel more confident or justified or something like that. In my opinion, that's what it is. So it's a sort of, you know, dealing with these really deep-seated problems that are not solved from a long time ago. And yeah, there's so many bad parents. I don't know what it is. Do we ever talk about how many bad parents there were out there? And you might have kids and you might be struggling to take care of them in the way that you want to take care of them. Like maybe you feel yourself making the same mistake as your parents. But yeah, it's a big subject. And as a society, we've become considerably less religious. Like I said earlier, we're less Christian. We don't take it as seriously. And you wonder sometimes if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, you know, like, is it hurting the children and how will they deal with all of their trauma, the next generation of trauma, you know? We are Beatrice Moniz. Oh, very nice. Look at that. You got this card for like half the price. All right, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Do you have any Demon Slayer slabs? We do not. We used to sell Demon Slayer cards. I think we sold out of those. Or get a super rich girlfriend who will buy you all your dream Pokemon cards. It's possible to do that. It's possible to do that. Not easy. We are. All right. Time to invest in a rich girlfriend. Here's Eevee. Here's Poobzachu. Wow, those are some great cards. So here we have Koro Koro, Mr. Mime. And he just looks really great. I'm going to let him keep rotating. Well, I'm going to keep him. I'm not going to post him on eBay is what I mean. Really fantastic Pop 3 Eevee from the Leaf Green collection. Again, this poker set was printed during the Gold Star era time period. Super cool. I've got more decks of it. I've got about 3 more decks, and then I'm out. That's all I've got is 3 decks. And by the way, that's very low. Here's Pikachu VMAX. And he's really nice, but he's a 9. 2 more cards on the table. Are you ready for them? So over here, we've got the Jigglypuff, Koro Jigglypuff. Very nice. And then way over here, we got Slowpoke for $200. All right, Pop 4. Now I can take a picture of this and put it away. I can relate to a lot of y'all, but all we can do is the best we can do and keep going on and never give up. Yeah, it's difficult, man. It's a difficult thing, you know. I think that complicated feelings like being able to feel vulnerable, being able to be honest with people or close to people, all that stuff's much more complicated if you didn't have a great family relationship. But the good news is you can just kind of learn about all that stuff. You could go to therapy as well. I didn't really do that. I just read a lot. We are. During that time period I'm always talking about, I read a ton of psychology books. And that was also monumentally important for me during that time period. I read a ton of psychology books. Books about identity, books about, trying to remember all of it actually. It was a long time ago. I just remember books about guilting. There was a psychology book on the psychology of guilting and sort of like the games we play when we talk to each other socially, you know, where one person tries to dominate the other person in a certain way. It's not enough for humans to just communicate their needs back and forth. One person has to win and the other person needs to lose. You need to win against the other person. So it's really fascinating the way that we work that way, you know. You can't just talk to somebody, you have to win. And some people are like the other way around. They just constantly shoot themselves in the foot. They don't want to win. They want to lose always. You know, if you think about the people in our group here, maybe you think of somebody who always wants to win and somebody who always wants to lose. You know, they're always apologizing, saying, I'm sorry. Here's Mr. Zach, box of Korean Rocket and shopping. Can I ship unsold consignment slabs? We'll send more for shipping if needed. I would be happy to do that. Let's go take a quick look. So the consignment slabs. Let's see. Mr. Stekskowski. There's one. Let's go through and find them all. I made it, mister. You can put my name on that Pikachu slab now. Nice. How's it going, man? Welcome. All right. So these are the consignment slabs. Here's a chance to look at them again. Like Tammy's got this milk tank for sale for $49. By the way, all these slabs have their pictures taken in our Discord server. Tammy, Adam, places over here. TRG, you've been having a hard time sleeping lately. Well, that's not good. There's one. There's one. Tammy, Caleb, Adam. There's one. There's one. So this is what we got so far. It's really going to depend on whether we're going to need to create like a second box for these, basically. See, Adam. There's a nice Brett Love card. That's a Master Chief Hardlight, PSA 9. Really cool. Okay. All right. Here's Anthony, Brett Love, Stekskowski. My music paused. Can I have a signed Lightning Energy? All right, let me go get it. There's a Stekskowski slab. Here's one. Okay. Well, there's a lot of slabs in this box. I'm really impressed with the amount. But, you know, it's interesting because so much of it doesn't sell. It really shows you people just want a couple cards, you know. They want PSA 10 Charizard, PSA 10 Rayquaza, and those will sell all day long. They don't want to buy most of these other slabs, probably because they're looking at them like, hey, those are bad investments, which isn't necessarily true. I've owned a lot of slabs for a long time and seen many of them rise over time, even ones that don't sell quickly. So, Zach, I would say, yeah, this is probably a separate shipment. we are. Do you have a $9 slab I can keep? That would pay for a round of shipping. Let's see. Ugh. Okay, here's a Stekskowski. I liked this one, the Machop. Stekskowski. Adam, Tammy, Adam. All right, there we go. So we've pulled them all out. It is a pretty sizable chunk of slabs. I would say they could easily go into their own boxes so much. I paid for the international shipping. I also asked on Instagram if I could buy the Trump card graded 8 if you have it left. I believe he still exists. I think he does. I can't remember if someone bought him now. But Mr. Jonas, what you need to do, I need your phone number. So I got to have your phone number to make the label, because I saw that payment and I wasn't able to make the label because I got to have your phone number. They require that for the label, unfortunately. Ooh, there we go. I'll send another 9. All right. So we'll get a 2 Zach label thing going. Or maybe we'll just get one really big expensive box, one or the other. I think I bought it. Maybe he has 2. Oh, if it's already been purchased, then Mr. Trevino would have gotten it, and I do not have 2 of them. Here's a little Charizard, $110. Cool cards here. Here's a Anthony Kalura Ty Lee. Look at that. Tammy Dragonite. Vibrava. Mega Kamex. Lightning. All right. So let me take a look at this. Woo. That's some decent slabbage right there. Now we want to jump over here, take a quick look at... Now, before we do that, though, you also ordered a box of Korean rockets. So I tell you what, let's open that box before we get too far. Okay, the box of rocket. And then what we'll do is we'll grab your baggies and get you either a double label or a really big box label. How much is that stack? Probably a little bit pricey if you could liquidate it at the snap of a finger. Yeah, probably a nice little chunk of money. It is. All right, there we go. Smushing that bottom of the box. Yeah, it's crazy how hard it can be to sell something like Bellsprout, you know? People are like, nah, you can keep them. I got one Bellsprout. Who wants it? You got Rayquaza? You got Dialga? And I'm only looking for 10s, and I want them all in English. And I want them at half market price. Remember, that was like a Louis request. Teasing him a little bit. I don't even think he's here. I can send the phone number in the same message as the Trump card. So the Trump card apparently is sold. Mr. Jose Trevino says he already bought it. So the Trump card is sold. And then as for the phone number, you could send me a PayPal message with the phone number in it and just send the smallest amount of money that PayPal allows. That would work. Your other option is, like you said, you contacted me on Instagram. I could probably receive it over there too. That would work as well. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's already sold. Hey, what's up, Mr. Clay Thunder? How's it going, man? How do things work around here? We open up a lot of Pokemon cards. We host a lot of cool breaks. We have a lot of giveaways. And we've been going for 6 years steady. We've finished 6 years. We're on year 7. If you want to participate by opening packs, you'll want to learn how to make a purchase live. And to do that, you need to open up the description of the YouTube live stream. That's how you do it. You go over to the description. Really easy. It's not complicated at all to participate. You quite literally just make a payment on CASHAPP or PayPal or ZELLE or VENMO, whatever it is you got. It goes directly to me. No websites needed, no sign up. You don't have to create an account or something like with like a Cardconomist shop. You don't have to do any of that stuff. I just take direct payments over ZELLE, CASHAPP, VENMO, PayPal, and more. Ooh, look at that. You got the cat. When you make that payment, I get an email, and that email goes into like a queue, and I just run through all the emails. We have a lot of cool stuff. We got a lot of slabs for sale. The unique products really are the breaks. We offer breaks that you can't buy at Walmart. You can't buy them on eBay. You have to have a host. And I'm a fantastic host because I've been doing it so long. We got a stellar reputation for hosting these breaks. I like my cards 8-10 and in English, Chinese, Japanese. Okay, then let's try open a pack instead. Haha. Definitely, yeah. Take a shot at trying to pull the card directly. Here we are. Good thing I subbed. Aw, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Guys, we're getting so close to 100,000. I can taste it. And you know when we hit that number, it's going to trigger a big giveaway. So if you are hanging out, maybe you're a little bit new, maybe you're just a traveler popping in and saying hi, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, and we're going to get that 100,000 subscribe count in, and I'm going to get a silver plaque, which I'm very happy about that. And then you guys are going to get a $5,000 Pokemon card giveaway, probably a whole bunch of smaller items, but $5,000 worth. So we're going to give out a whole bunch of stuff. And so all you got to do is smash the subscribe button and be there when we hit that 100K. I bet it's going to be a really busy day when that happens. Mistress, the hostess with the mostest. What? The moistest. Very good, very good, very good. There is Persian. Meow. So Persian, Mewtwo, Meowth, Weezing, Nidoking, Purple Hair Guy, and Clam Pearl. Not bad. Not the worst box, not the best box either, but it's not the worst box. Okay, Zach. So the second thing, we've got all these slabs here. The second thing is we're going to start getting all your bags together. You got a lot of nice cards in your bags. Got one box, one bag. We've got 2 bags. Okay, baggie number 2. We got Exadrian, Yugi Tao. Aha, found you. There we go. One more bag. Wow, that's a lot. You want a little bonus? What do we got that we could give you as a bonus? Bonus. Where would I be storing bonuses and all? I don't think I'd be having them over here anymore, would I? Nope. Dang, dude, I moved all my stuff around. Now I can't remember what I did with them. Oh, they're definitely missing. I used to have an easy way to give you a bonus card. Now I don't know how to do that. Why don't I give you a bonus Team Rocket pack? Here you are. And why don't we give you a bonus Lost Origins Japanese pack? That's kind of nice, isn't it? And, what else do we got that I could give you that wouldn't be too bad to give away? Wouldn't kill me to give it away. How about one of these Pixar packs? Haha, I know you like Pixar. All right, there we go. All right, some little bonus packs this time. Wow, this bag is so full. Why don't we just split that in 2? This one's really full as well. So we're going to pull some of these out. Okay. And we're going to pull some of these out. It's just too much in here. Mister, when you reached 100K on your other channel, did you actually get a play button? Yeah, I got the play button. You get a silver play button at that point. They give you a plaque, and they give you like a congratulations, and it's very cute. It's not like the most important thing. You know, actually what would really matter are my sales numbers. So, you know, if you want to measure my success, it's not even the number of views we get. It's ultimately the number of sales we get. That is the closest measure of my success. And yet, this is more about ego. So reaching 100K is just a special moment that says you've been doing this a long time, you've been asking for subscribes for years, and you built up 100,000, and it just feels really nice. So it's an ego thing. It's not even necessarily like an ego. Like if you play a video game for a long time, is it really your ego that wants the high score, or is it just like this goal you've had, and it feels really good to finish the goal? So we've been working our way toward 100K for a long time. Every time we reached 10,000 new subscribers, we always had like a nice $1,000 giveaway. And on 100,000, we're going to give away $5,000. So it's going to be more generous, and it's going to be a great celebration and a real achievement. I put a lot of hours into this. Forget about whether you made money or not. I put like literally tons of hours into this, and so it's going to feel so good when it happens. Mr. Always about that bag. Yeah, well, technically the bag's the more technical measure of your success. Like if you've got a bag, you don't even have to be a YouTuber. You can just be some guy, and if you've got money in the bank, you did good in life. You got your career done right. But for me, I really just want that 100K because I want to say, you know, like I did it. I raised the second YouTube channel to 100K. Do you want me to send something extra for slabs and such? No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to send any extra. Yeah, $40 is enough. $40 is exactly what we need. All I need now is your phone number. That's all. Yeah, if I can get your phone number, I can make the label. Okay. Also, make sure that your address in PayPal is up to date too, right? So make sure that's not an old address because that's what I'll be using. I'll be using your PayPal address. All right. I have no savings. Well, we got to change that about you, Mr. Panda. Do you have any Pokemon cards? Okay, let me think about how we're going to ship this, okay? You ready? So, let's see. We can either ship it with the large box. Yeah, let's ship it with the large box. So I'm going to spend the extra money because you sent me an extra 9. I'm going to spend the extra money and we're going to use a big box, okay? I'm glad you're taking time for yourself and quit. Am I? Yeah. I wouldn't say that. We did go to Dallas the other day, though. I'm a little, I'm a little worried about her friend coming down here, man. I feel like that's going to put a pause on our plans. We are. All right. Actually, her friend coming down has been a little stressful for us today. Her friend wants to hang out, and now Karis and I are looking at each other going, all right, well, how are we going to hang out with each other? And her friend kind of just injected herself into our lives all of a sudden. She talks to Karis on the phone all the time, and now she's moved in like 30 minutes away. And it's like, it's interesting development. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think it actually has potential to be a bad thing. Set this over here. What's a junk pack look like? Well, yes, a junk pack will look something like this. It's called a junk pack because it's definitely made out of junk cards, okay? It's $3 and it's just a bit of fun. And so here's a randomly put together junk pack. It's got a couple hollows in it. This is a Karuta card. Here's some girl cards. Here's a Ninja Turtles. Here's a Snoopy card. Some Minecraft, some Star Wars. This is some kind of Digimon box topper. Can I please keep the bulk on this order? So the thing about the bulk is that we just always say no on it, okay? Is it like for 2 booster packs? If it's for like 2 booster packs, it's not a big deal. We tend to just say no on that. What's her friend moving there to be closer to you all, or was it for other reasons? I believe her friend, so her friend is kind of like a certain type, and I think she's kind of attaching herself to my wife, sort of. That's the way I perceive it. And I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. And my wife's worried about that too herself. So it's a little stressful, actually. Because what are you supposed to say? Like, oh, I don't want to hang out with you or something. You can't say something like that. It wouldn't be very nice. And she does like her, but it's like, yeah, it's an awkward situation. I don't know how it's going to play out. All right. Let's set this over here. Okay. Very nice. Not bad variety is good. Thank you for that. Does the friend have a crush on you? No, she definitely has never met me. Although I've kind of seen her, but yeah, I don't know. She might not like me, actually. I might be the type she doesn't like personality-wise. And yeah, it's an interesting development. I don't know if it's a good thing. I guess I'll find out over time. Okay, so that was for Mr. Zach. Thank you for the extra $9 for the shipping, for the extra big slab shipping. We have Toasty Space Ghost. 2 of the Scarlet Violet base set, and 1 Paldean Fates, and shipping. Is the XY Porygon slab still on the table? Probably. I think I remember what you're talking about. Did that sell? I don't see it. Did you check the Discord server for it? It might have a picture in the Discord server. We are. Her friend's kind of a certain type of girl. She, I guess she had like a falling out with her dad. Her dad kind of got kicked out of the family, sort of. But then she doesn't get along with guys in general. So, you know, she's not into men. And I don't know how she feels about guys, but I have a feeling she doesn't like them. And my wife has been talking to her for like 5 or 6 years, and she's never mentioned me once. The friend has never asked, how's your husband doing? Why don't we all hang out? And so I have a feeling she wishes my wife was not with me and just hanging out with her, you know, and they were just friends. You know what I'm saying? But so anyways, now she's moved, like within, we were warned like 3 days ago, she's moving right next to us. And so now she's just here and she's like, all right, I'm ready to hang out. And it's like, all right. She used to live about 3 hours away, so it was a very rare thing for Karis to go hang out with her. All right. That sounds scary. Yeah, it's kind of, it's not scary, but it does concern me because she used to have like this strong relationship with her mom and her sister. And I guess they've got going on in their lives. What's going on is her sister is getting married off to a guy. So she met a nice guy, I guess. So she got a boyfriend. The mom also got a boyfriend, and she's the one with no boyfriend. But there's kind of a reason for that. Is because maybe she's not really into men. She's kind of into girls. And so, you know, she doesn't have a boyfriend, and she's losing her mom, and she's losing her sister because they are getting boyfriends. And now she wants to live right next to us and start hanging out with Karis. And I get very limited time with Karis. And so now it's looking like I might have to split my time with Karis if she starts hanging out with this friend a lot. And Karis perceives this issue as well. She understands it too. So it's sort of like really awkward because Karis didn't ask her necessarily to move out here. And so now it's like this stressful thing. All right, Mr. Toasty Space Ghost, but she has family out here. She has like an uncle out here. I guess a successful uncle. She's moved in with him, an uncle, and she's going to try and get a job out here. And so, like, in no time at all, in 3 days, all of a sudden, you know, now there's this person that I guess Karis needs to start hanging out with, and I don't even think I'm invited. I don't think that's her goal. I don't think her goal is to meet me or know who I am or that kind of stuff. I think her goal is basically to just kind of, you know, all right, Karis is going to hang out with me now. And it's like, she's mine, you know, she's hanging out with me. We have like a life together. I can't loan her out very often. And so I have a feeling that's what's about to go down is a very awkward conversation about that. I feel your wife should not take her problems on her because they will only drain energy on you and herself. Yeah, and she needs a boyfriend, but I don't even think she's into men. So I think she's into girls. So all that's kind of alarming to me. I don't really know how it will play out. Maybe it'll play out in a good way. I don't know. But it's got me a little on a little concerned that she might have sort of like this fantasy where her and Karis become very close, and maybe it's just them and I'm not in the picture or something like that. Like they're besties or sisters, or Karis sort of replaces her mom and her sister to a certain degree. And it's like, you know, if Karis actually disappeared to hang out with this girl for extended periods of time, especially on like the weekend, which is what she just asked for, not Karis, but her friend, you know, if that became a regular thing, is like, you know, that's not good. That's not what I was interested in. So, you know, now you get to have a debate over what's the right thing to do. Have you thought about locking your wife in the basement? Oh, she's already in there. No, I'm just kidding. Here's Mr. Jonas. 1 Trump Playboy pack. You got it. So anyways, so now you guys kind of get the picture, right? You get the picture. This girl knows Karis is married. Never asked one question about me. Never spoken to me. Never said, how's your husband doing? They don't, you know, they don't talk that way about me. So I don't think honestly, my suspicion is with her bad relationship with her father and with her giving up on dating men, maybe she's just too anxious to meet me, or maybe she really doesn't like that I'm in the picture at all. So I don't know which of those two it might be, but I would have a feeling she wouldn't like me anyways if she did get to know me. Like, I kind of have a sense of her personality type, and her personality type doesn't mesh well with mine. I'm like a competitive, let's get all this work done type. And that does not mesh well with some personality types. I'm like oh, there you go. There you go, Mr. Jonas. There you go, man. Your dream's coming true. Look at that, everybody. Jonas was trying to pull this, and he got it on a last pack. So nice. Of course, if we look closer, Jonas, take a closer look, will you? So it has a, like, vertical scratch in it for some reason. I don't know why. That's too bad. And then it has a pretty strong horizontal print line. So if you ever want, you can come back and try again for a nicer one, because this one's going to grade low, in my opinion. It's got a dot up here, too. It's got some sort of right up there. See that? So this one, if you're just happy enough with the raw version of the card, you're going to do just fine. But if you ever want to go hunting for a higher quality version of the card, you can try again. You can see he's not super rare. You can see this trump card's not the rarest thing. Again, he is a common card in the set. They're all commons. But you could also try for the rainbow version of the card. Now, that is rare. The rainbow version. You are? All right. Bro pulled a pedo hollow. I know. It's very exciting. Here we are. Those Epstein files must be astronomical. You see that in every comment section these days. Release the Epstein. I thought so I've heard that they have released all of the Epstein files, except for some Epstein files that the Democrats won't allow them to release because it's not considered credible evidence. Here it is. All right, that's what I have heard. I also did hear that people were talking about how the Democrats have had the Epstein files for a long time, and they didn't have anything to release either. But so there's a strong conspiracy that there's like this, list of names of bad guys and billionaires and rich people, and they all need to be taken down. So I don't know how to feel about that whole situation, but that's a big focus right now. We are. All right. Ooh. What we know is we've seen pictures of Donald Trump hanging out with Epstein at some party, which I guess to some degree, Epstein was hanging out with virtually every wealthy person. That was his whole thing. That was his shtick, was that he rubbed elbows with rich and powerful people. That was what he excelled at. Like he was with Stephen Hawking's. All right, let's get this reset. We're going to reset our software. I don't know what to think about the Epstein files currently. Another Trump playboy? Rainbow Trump? I didn't know he was gay. Yeah, where's my gays for Trump? All right, we're loading this up. Yes, there's a Rainbow Trump card to pull out of the Playboy packs, and it would probably be astronomically valuable if you pulled that and managed to pull a PSA 10 on it, because that would be nuts, dude. I would try to sell that for around 10K if you could. And the letter card, sent the phone number on the latest purchase. I saw that. So they're all on the list. That could be it, Zach. That could be it. Maybe the Democrats have no interest in some sort of Epstein list being revealed either. That could totally be it. It could be that they have powerful friends in other countries that they got trade deals with, and they don't want to screw around with their trade deals. They're like, who cares? Let the trade deal. The trade deal is more important. Who knows what it is? Like I'm saying, like they could be defending it. Maybe they have nothing to do with it at all. Like I heard Trump didn't actually go to the island at all. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is. But, maybe he did or maybe he didn't. And maybe he did nothing. Maybe he did a lot of stuff. But whatever the case is, maybe he's just got friends he's trying to hide. Maybe he doesn't even care if you see him on the list at this point, because obviously he's already in the pictures. So, Mr. Jonas. So who knows? I've said that before. If they're truly hiding names, then that's sort of like a crime to hide the names of... Here we go. I've got the address. All right, good. If they're hiding any names, that is a crime of protecting people from justice. And obviously, Jeffrey Epstein was doing bad stuff with somebody. And so we really do need justice on that, in my opinion. All right, let's see. So we're going to get started on this. Clicking on this button. Okay, we're going to say... I don't know if that's a city or if it's a province. Let me look this up real fast. It's probably a city. International labels. Okay, it's a city. That's what I thought it was. Usually if one thing's omitted, it's the province is omitted. Okay, we're going to hit OK on this. And now we're going to get that email. So we are going to use your email address, Mr. Jonas, to give you your tracking number. The tracking number will be sent from stamps.com. That's what it'll say. It'll say stamps. Be sure to check your spam folder, just in case it goes to your spam folder. You don't want to miss it. You'll want your tracking number. And now let me get that phone number. Here it is. There it is. All right, we got the phone number, the very important phone number. We have to have that when we ship. Good. And now let's get a proper weight on this. Now, I don't believe you have any slabs, right? There's no slabs. Did I miss the cloud break? Nope. The cloud break has not gone off. In fact, it hasn't moved by even one spot tonight, which is crazy because yesterday it moved by like, what, 8 spots? So yesterday this moved by like 8 spots, but tonight, not even one. But only 7 spots left on this cloud, guys. He's close. Jump in that cloud. Let's see the end of this cloud already. $40, chance for an $800 card, 1 in 20 odds. There's also the star card in there. Oh, no, he doesn't have a star card. He only receives star cards. That's right. So no, there's not a star card in there. But again, 1 in 20 odds, $40, $800 card is super awesome. Okay, we're getting an exact weight here. Trump was a key witness. He never did anything wrong. Okay. He didn't just meet Trump at one party. They were clearly buddies. Epstein said it himself. We are. All right. So that's going to be 7 ounces. It's a very tricky proposition because, you know, everyone's speculating on the level of guilt of Donald Trump with Epstein. That's the problem, is that it's speculation. Like, it's probably very frustrating, but everything that you say from this point is just going to be hearsay, and it's going to be his word, her word, their words, him versus her, whatever it is, right? And so, unfortunately, unless you can find some hidden document or some hidden evidence that supposedly the FBI or somebody is hiding from the public, until then, you don't really have anything to get him on. You know, he's just, he obviously knew Epstein, but the problem is a ton of people did. And so now you just have to assume, okay, well, maybe he did something bad with underage girls. Did he? It's a very important accusation, because if he didn't, that's pretty serious that he didn't. And if he did, that's also really serious. He should be prosecuted if he did. And then also, is he hiding information for people who did do stuff with kids? So, you know, it's all really serious, but the biggest problem is you can't get any evidence on it. And so you're gonna have to pull your hair out for a while. Maybe if the next Democrat, you know, maybe the guy from California becomes president, maybe he can release it. But I bet you he won't, because the Democrats already had power and they didn't release anything. All right, so this is going to say playing cards. Ta-da! Playing cards. Okay. So I know it's very frustrating, but I'm afraid that's how it is, isn't it? And hey, he did a little donation. Thank you so much, Jonas. I really appreciate that, man. Let's see. We're waiting for this to play out. And can we print it? Print. Oh, yeah. Okay, your label is printed. So what happens next, Mr. Jonas? Here's what happens. This label and bag are handed off to Miss Alexis. She does all the packaging. She's been working over here for about a year, almost a year and a half. It'll be a year and a half in December, okay, guys? She'll be here for a year and a half in December. Lexus has been doing the shipping this whole time, and she's doing a great job. So she'll get this on Monday, and she'll package it up. And then on Tuesday, the mailman will pick that up, okay? All right. Very nice. Look at this guy. He's so nice. I really appreciate it, man. Okay. Okay, really interesting conversations about all that stuff. By the way, it is a really really strong subject that people like to talk about and wonder about. It's hard to believe that Epstein was accused of so many horrid things and nobody knew about it, or nobody, nobody tried to stop him, or nobody participated along with him. And so anyone who's ever hung out with him is sort of like instantly guilty by association. But it's a very dangerous thing because it's like he knew a lot of people. And there were just a lot of people that went there. Like Bill Gates went there. Was Bill Gates touching underage girls? That's a huge accusation, and you need some actual evidence. I don't think that rich people are afforded any sort of like benefit of the doubt. You just assume they're evil and they do evil things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, here are two cards you couldn't see. These are also for sale. We just took their picture. So when you've got rich people, you just assume they're super evil. They're doing evil things. Bill Gates is guilty. Bill Clinton's guilty. Everyone's guilty. But, when it comes to accusations of that nature, you have to have some actual evidence. That is the nature of our justice system, is innocent until proven guilty. So unfortunately, it'll probably mostly remain in your heart as a conspiracy. Like, it's like, I think you did something evil. You definitely did something evil, right? But until someone, releases some kind of hardcore believable evidence, you're just not going to have that satisfying answer. Got one last pack from Star Wars Family Guy. Sounds good. I'll add that too. But after that, you can't add anymore, okay? Those labels are really specific. They have to weigh exactly the right amount, okay? But I should be able to slip that one in. Okay, we got Toasty Space Ghost. One pack of the Paldea Evolved and shipping. You got it. All right, here we are. Ooh, we got 66 people watching. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit reset on all the entries for the Pikachu right now. It's just us, guys. Just the 66 of us. All right, so I wiped everyone else out. Go ahead and type in TCC. We'll pick the next person now. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. There we go. I like to do that sometimes. So when we have a big giveaway like this, I like to see who sticks around, and then I'll reset it, and then whoever's still around, you get a shot. There we go. All right. So, is that a mean trick? That's kind of a mean trick, isn't it? People got to go to bed, right? Here's Sprigatito. All right. All I know is you guys are here. That's what matters. You guys are here. Thanks again, Jonas, for those wonderful donations. That's so nice. It says we got about $10 donated to us. So it's hard to interpret how much was actually sent. Actually, yeah, it's hard to interpret how much was sent, but on my screen it says about $10 total was sent. That's very nice. Okay, so that was for Mr. Toasty Space Ghost, who has a bag right over here. Thank you so much. Someone buy into the cloud break. Yes, seriously, man, that cloud break is so close. I badly want to see it finish. I want to see who gets it. It's going to be so satisfying when that goes off. All right, you ordered a round of shipping as well. Here you go. Now, have we shipped you before, Mr. Toasty Space Ghost? Let's see if we've shipped you before. We have never shipped you. Toasty, I gotta have your address. Do you know how to send that to me? You got to send it to my email. Do you know my email? It's TheCardconomist@gmail.com. Let me grab it. Let me grab this. TheCardconomist@gmail.com. There it is, TheCardconomist@gmail.com for shipping. So since you're buying on Venmo, I need you to email me your shipping address, okay? Yeah, if you're buying on PayPal, I get your address from PayPal. PayPal gives it to me. It also gives me your email. But if you're using a different system to pay, maybe ZELLE, maybe Venmo, maybe CASHAPP, you got to actually email me the shipping address so we can get it all shipped up. How many bags do I have for a bag sort? Let's see. An enormous amount. You've got like 20 bags. Maybe if you wanted to do a total of 4 rounds of bag sorting, we'll get it all bag sorted, even though it's clearly much more than 4 bags. So if you wanted, it's a bigger job. If you wanted to do that, you might save money and not do it. Do you want to do a giveaway? I can buy 2 Simpsons 1990. Are you offering to purchase 2 Simpsons packs that then the audience will get as a giveaway? Because you can totally do that. You can totally do that. People do that all the time, actually, because they enjoy being generous. All right, so here we go. We're going to hit choose a winner, and it is Old Man. Oh, yeah. What's tonight? Saturday night? So I was going to say Old Man. All right, let's hand out spot number 15 as well. You ready? Spot number 15 is Mr. Rain Bryan. New guy, Rain Bryan. Okay, so we are up to 15 spots now. Getting closer. Remember, it ends at 20. Okay. So I'll hit refresh on entries. So it's resetting all the entries right now. Okay, and then once again, if you want a chance, you got to type in TCC. So it's kind of like it tests to see who's here and who's not here. Edward says, pre-grade the Alakazam and the Mew. Okay, yes, we can do that. So we offer something called a pre-grade. It's a little bit different from a bag sort. With the pre-grade, I hand an actual grade out to a card that you want to know what it's going to grade. And we hand out a nice harsh grade to it. This can give you some opinions on it, whether to waste your time and your money grading it. Okay, we're just looking for your bag now. Here it is. All right, Edward, you had some luck, didn't you? You want the Mew and the Alakazam. Oh, look at that little Yoshi. Okay, there's. I don't know where I put those cards. Here's the Mew, here's the Alakazam. Are you ready? Give me 10s. Mr. Gavin Newsom went ham. Yeah, Gavin Newsom is clearly spinning up to be the candidate for president in the next cycle. So he's probably going to go up against J.D. Vance. Except now the Republicans have lost Charlie Kirk. Okay, there are some lips on the edge of the top of the card. All right. There is some off-centering on the front. This corner to this corner is pretty off-center, actually. Yeah, so I will give this, I'm going to give it a 9. There it is. I feel the off-centering is too severe in this case. Okay, you could still test it. I could be wrong. That could be too harsh of a grade. Okay, corner issue on your card right away. I notice it. Okay, if you'll notice, the texturing is not right there. I don't know what that is, but they will almost certainly disqualify it for that. Let's check the back corners real fast. Centering is not bad. Yeah, you're out of luck. This will probably be an 8. So I would designate the Mew a 9 and the Alakazam an 8. We are. All right. Very nice. Now you know that you don't want to spend $80 grading these. So instead of spending all that money grading these, and it would have cost you a lot of money to have me middleman it, or you could have done it at home and it still would have been pretty expensive. For $6, you can now see that you should sell these as raw cards on eBay. So sell them ungraded on eBay. When you sell them on eBay, just call them mint or something, and you're allowed to do that. That's how raw cards work. They're not graded, and so you can have pre-knowledge about the card. You can know that it has no shot at a 10 and still sell it as mint. That's how it works. That's why when you guys go shopping on eBay for ungraded cards and you're like, hee, I'm just going to buy some nice cards off of eBay, grade them, and then they'll flip into $100 million cards. That does work sometimes, but most of the time, I'd say the majority of the time, you're really just buying people's already graded, pre-graded cards where they looked it over with their own eyeballs and they're like, ooh, there's a flaw. I'll sell it on eBay. So that's kind of how it works over there. But again, you might get lucky. You might get some cards that just flip into 10s. Increasingly, you don't run into that scenario as often. Used to be years ago, you could run into that scenario pretty easily. Nowadays, I don't know. Mr. Edwards says, dang. Yeah, and I want that, by the way, I want that to give you guys perspective. Here is a nice 10, $40 buy-in, 26, 1 in 26 odds. So How bad of a deal is that Espeon? It looks pricey until you realize just how hard it is to get 10s. This is already a 10. So that part of the gamble has been eliminated for you. It's ironically a better, I've said this many times, mathematically, it's a superior way, dollar for dollar, to chase after a big hit. Because if you look at the odds of pulling the Espeon VMAX and the odds of it grading 10, the odds are so shockingly bad, you will spend thousands of dollars more chasing it. Oftentimes, the chase after a big card like that Espeon costs many times more than just buying it outright. That's why opening packs is so difficult. But then again, somebody gets lucky with the packs, you know? And there's other concepts too, like, okay, well, you didn't pull Espeon VMAX, but you pulled this other lesser card that's going to get you some of your money back. Okay, well, are you going to do all the capital to grade it? And is that going to grade 10? And are you going to, spend all the time selling it on eBay and da-da-da-da, right? So you have to extract the value out of the middle quality cards that you didn't really want. Here we are. Mr. Toasty's got his address here, right? Like, so if you're pursuing the Espeon, you're going to end up with all these extra cards, and you can try to extract some value out of those to help pay for the fact that you're opening all these packs. So it's a difficult calculation to make, but it appears that it's pretty clear that the breaks are mathematically better. So it's funny because there's actually enough space in there for me to make a profit margin and still sell you a product where your odds are better than if you'd open a booster pack. A lot of it stems down to the fact that not only do people not understand how bad their luck is in booster packs, not just that, but when you actually pull the card out of the pack, the one you wanted, now you got like this really small chance that it actually grades 10. A lot of people don't appreciate that. They don't take that into account. They don't think about it too hard, or they're overly hopeful. They go, oh, maybe mine will be a 10. It's like, yeah, somebody's is, but the odds are against you. The odds are quite poor. You'd be surprised how bad the odds are. The odds are worse than 40, 1 in 26. That's the point. They're worse than that. Okay, here we go, Mr. Toasty Space Ghost, your first label. So next time, I won't have to look you up because you'll be in my address book. How nice. Set the shipping info. Now, here's the problem also with the breaks. You get in with your 40 bucks, and then you miss, and now you're out 40 bucks, and you're like, ah! Then you get in another one for 40 bucks, and you miss that one too, and now you're out $80, and you go, ah! At some point, you reach this moment where you wish you had just had like some, I don't know, like some commons. Maybe there's something about pulling some commons that feels good, and you go, I'll just take the commons, So I think that's why people don't always get in the breaks, because they're quite painful. And I've thought about sort of editing the way they feel to include these middle tier pulls. So I think I could do that. It's definitely a thought I've had. Do you have any Dragon Balls? Yes, we do. So Dragon Ball is on the extended menu. So you would have to know how to get into the extended menu. There's a link to it. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Nice. That's really nice of you, Mr. JM Life. Really appreciate it. So, Dragon Ball. We have 3 options. The Manga Booster SB1, $6 a pack. Then we have Beyond Generations, $5 a pack. And then finally, we have History of Z, $12 a pack. So those are the Dragon Ball packs. You know what we should have done, guys? We should have assembled a jumbo pack, shouldn't we have? Okay, so now we have Jose Trevino. I'll try again. 5 more Trump packs and 3 more junk. Dang, dude. Jose Trevino ordered right after. Oh, man, that means that other guy just waltzed in and sniped that Trump right out of your hands. That sucks, man. All right, but that was the end of this box. So let's go get a fresh box, okay? And maybe, since it's a fresh box, you'll immediately grab another Trump. Maybe that's what'll happen. Cross your fingers, okay? Oh, what was the rest of the order? The rest junk packs, right? Junk pack. Okay, yeah, we got what we want. Let's open this bad boy up. Jump! My eyes. All right. Okay. Oof. We were just talking about Trump. We were talking about the Epstein files, weren't we? That whole story is pretty troubling, isn't it? Epstein committing quote-unquote suicide, so you can't ask him any questions. We are. That's not good. People are always going to wonder if there was something more to that story. There we go. Okay. So, 5 Trump packs and 3 junk packs. 3 junk packs. Let's see. Oh. Ready? I think there's a little bit of Dragon Ball in the menu, in the extended menu. That's right. Let's start with the junk packs real fast. So these are the junk packs. They're just made out of exactly what they're called. They're made out of junk. So we got some Digimon. Lots of this Attack on Titan because I had a whole bunch of it laying around. Okay, some girls and a Snoopy card. That's pack number 1. Try pack number 2. Maybe Rainbow Trump? Yeah, actually, again, there's definitely a chance for Rainbow Trump. Oh. Lots of girl packs there. There's a holographic Merlin card. This is a good pack. Oh, wow, he had some Mario cards, too. Double box topper. That was like a hot junk pack. I must have made that one extra hot. Okay. And Growlithe, Deoxys, Muna. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Digimon. All right. Do you have room 40s? I don't know what room 40s are. Grab these. I don't know if that's like an inside joke or a reference to something funny. Let's see. So you've got the baggie over here. Let's pop all these in there. All right. Very good. Now, I don't know what this music is, man. Okay. All right. How about Hugh Hefner? That guy was alive for a long time. Hung out with the sexy girls at the Playboy Mansion. In a sense, he kind of was the same thing as Epstein, except all of his clients were hanging out with adults, presumably. They are. But it was the same idea, wasn't it? It was like a place where if you were affluent enough, you could go hang out at the Playboy Mansion, and there would be hot girls in bunny suits. Very interesting. Ready? All right. Playboy. Playboy. Oh, my cheek's itchy. My son loves the junk packs. Oh, cool. I'm glad he does. That's fun. What do people think of age gap in relationships where the woman is older? Like, does it offend anybody? There's Emmanuel Macron. Ooh, I like this one. There's Emmanuel. Now, look, the bottom of it's really thin, so that can't grade 10. There's Emmanuel Macron, and he's got that relationship with Brigitte, and she's much older than him. It's a little disturbing because she was originally his teacher, and it makes you think maybe there was something inappropriate going on there, like he was groomed. So that one is a little disturbing. And what's weird is that now he's the leader of France. And so, yeah, I guess I didn't even know that about him for the longest time. I didn't know that he had like this wife who was like 30 years older than him or whatever it was. How much older is Brigitte? Age is just a number. Yeah, I mostly agree with Tammy. Age is just a number. But so I was trying to find an example where it was inappropriate, and he popped up into my mind, Mr. Emmanuel Macron. Macron? Anybody from France in here? I found out I had 5% French DNA. Oui, oui. That means now I like baguettes, and I twirl my mustache. All right. Very good. What's the chase cards? I think the girls were of age. All right. The Playboy girls? Yeah, they were. They definitely were. Hugh Hefner wasn't like that. Okay. What do we have here? It was just sort of a similar idea, though, right? Like a place where you could go hang out, and the girls are hot. And it was a place to hang out if you're rich and affluent. So it's kind of in a similar vein. It's LaToya Jackson. All right. Looking fine. All right. As long as both parties are over the illegal age limit, I don't think it should matter after that. There we go. I think that's how a lot of people feel on it. Although, when it comes to age gap, I notice people mostly get offended when it's like a really old dude and a really young hot girl. That's when people really get offended. Here's Playboy. 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 Here's the sexy grandma. Hey, you did get a Donald Trump card. Okay, place that there. A recent PGA Tour winner has a missus that's significantly older than him that doubles as hit agent. Hit agent? What? He's hitting his agents? That's not nice. The older person was once in a position of power. Mainly I'm talking about later in life. Here you are. Oh, you mean like a rich, powerful person ends up with like a boy toy? I don't know, dude. Oh. Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like when it comes to maybe like a cougar and a man, somehow that doesn't offend people as much because you don't see that as often. And, you know, it just feels like the guy really could just get out of the relationship if he wanted to. You know what I mean? All right. I don't know why we look at the guys and the girls and assume, oh, this girl, she's too stupid. She couldn't walk out of this. Or she's pressured into it. She has no choice. But you see that also in the cases where it's like child molestation in the schools. You guys ever notice that? So anytime it's like some hot teacher with like a 15-year-old or 16-year-old or whatever it is, some of it gets really inappropriate, right? Like the younger it gets even grosser. But, so some hot teacher and she's just had sex with the high schooler. And then you see the comment section and it's full of like, what's the crime? Oh, where were these hot teachers when I was in school, right? Everyone makes that old South Park joke. And then everyone reprimands them in the comment section too. So you get the group of guys who are like, oh, lucky guy, who told? And then the group of people responding to them saying, what's wrong with you? This is child molestation. Next up, we got Jonas, Family Guy, Star Wars. Ooh. So is this a giveaway, Mr. Jonas? Is this a giveaway, this one? That's the Dubel standard. 7 years is not that bad. Bill Belichick scenario. I'm referring to a 7-year age gap where the guy's 33. So 33 and 40, that's not even worth talking about. That's nothing. Actually, Karis and I, we have a 6-year difference. I'm 36 and she's 30. So, and then that's exactly what my mom and my dad had was a 6-year age gap. Karis's aunt had a 10-year age gap with her husband. Yeah, age gaps like that, it's not that shocking. 10 years is a bit much, isn't it? That's like a decade. I think that's the bad numbers when you get to that 10. But, so if it was like 11 or 12 or 13 years, it starts to look kind of bad. But, I mean, it happens all the time, right? Like a 20-year-old girl, and she's marrying a 33-year-old guy who's got an established career. They're ready to make babies, something like that. It's not that crazy, is it? Yeah, again, I think what a lot of people will say is it's just mostly important that both parties are consenting. The other ones, The Simpsons. Ah, yes. Okay, so this one's for you. That's right. You told me about this. You wanted this one. Now I remember. Ready? You wanted this one tossed in with your outgoing shipment. I remember. My parents are 9 years, 8 months, and maternal grandparents about 11 years. I want to marry a woman that's like 20 years older than me, says Corn Rules. Here we are. All right, what we got? We've got Proven Power. Here's Familiar Song. Okay. Here's Han Cholo. Something tells me you could find that if you wanted that, Corn Rules. Here's Walls Closing. Message is Delivered. And The Force. All right, cool. Oh, I already read that. 20 years is crazy. 20 years is a bit much. I mean, that is a bit much. So if you're 20, she's 40. Like, I don't know. If you're 30, she's 50. If you're 40, she's 60. It's a bit much. 20 years is a bit much. It's 2 full decades. She could easily be your mother. And so that's why I'm saying, like, you know, the further that number gets, the crazier it starts to look, I suppose. We all understand that. All right, Mr. Jonas, this shall go into your bag. How old is Melania Trump? I want that 20-year difference. Yeah, Trump's he's super old. He's 80, and isn't Melania like 45 or something like that? What's the age gap between Trump and Melania? Okay, let's see. A 24-year age gap. Holy, dude. That must be interesting. So, like, Donald Trump comes around, and he's older than her father, probably. He's older than her dad, probably. Okay, next up, we have Mr. Jonas. He says, do a giveaway with 2 Simpsons packs. You got it. 2 Simpsons packs. Okay. I don't think Melania regrets it. You know, if you think about it, she had a nice son. He inherits $1 billion of wealth. His father's the president. So, you know, the only thing she might regret is that maybe perhaps she could have had 2 or 3 or 4 children. But as long as her one son does really well, it's going to be okay, I think. We are? Ooh. Yo, man. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice, LMAO. All right. So this is from our new friend, Mr. Jonas, and he is giving away 2 Simpsons packs. Let's go ahead and hand this out. I'm going to create a keyword for it. I'm going to set it up ahead of time, actually. Okay, we're going to say Jonas. Okay, and then we're going to hit reset entries. So now what you need to do is type in Jonas to get into this giveaway for the 2 Simpsons packs. And the other giveaway will be paused for a moment. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice, huh? I think that's what Benjamin Franklin was trying to say. Here's Jolteon. Here's Elma. Benjamin Franklin wrote a letter where he literally said, with older women, when the lights go out, it's all the same. What the fuck? Crazy. Dude, that guy must have been raging. Jonas, Jonas. That is the keyword. Let's find out who gets it. Yeah, he had a couple things to say about having affairs with older women. Just giving you guys an extra minute. Ready? He said, older women are more emotionally prepared for an affair. He said they're happier to get the action. He said they've got better experience in the bedroom. He said there's no risk that they're going to accidentally get pregnant. And he said when the lights goes out, it's all the same. Our wise founding father. So that's Michael Bethel taking the Simpsons packs. That's how we're running this, just one shot here. You ready? Michael Bethel. All right. He really wrote a letter talking about that. And Benjamin Franklin was a known womanizer, and he slept around a lot. It's really funny. Here it is. Oh. Very good. I think he was the oldest in the group of the founding fathers, wasn't he? He was the oldest one. The founding fathers were surprisingly young. They were in their 20s, by the way. Pretty crazy. Bart, did you eat the pork rinds? There's Maggie. Okay. All right. Very lovely. So that's pack number 1 for Michael Bethel. And pack number 2. It's all about that first card with the Bart in the front doing the chalkboard. It's all about that. Okay, what do we got here? I'm going to tell mom and dad. Ah, dang it. Cursing is a crutch. Oh, yeah. Okay. Freaking younger sisters. So annoying. All right. We had a lot of that in our family. Maggie, Lisa, you in there? Homework is society's way of torturing their young. Marge, let's run away from the house. Kids out there in TV land, you're being duped. All right, America's Most Armed and Dangerous is on. I'm Lisa Simpson. I'm above domestic cleaning. There's nothing more disheartening to young, fertile minds than the 5 o'clock news hour. Now, I liked the news when I was younger. I think it's time to go down to the dairy den for some frosty chocolate milkshakes. There you go. My parents taught me at a young age how politics work, and I was hooked. I was so interested in the news, and I was interested in following the elections and everything. There you go. They got me interested in it because they explained it all. There it goes. All right. Mr. Michael. The first president I can remember was Bill Clinton. And I remember him famously saying, I did not have a relationship with that woman. He said it on like every single TV channel. There was no like cable yet. Was there cable? I don't think so. There was no cable yet that I can remember of. Or maybe there was, and it was rare to have it or something. He was on every news channel. He was on every channel. He interrupted the nanny. He interrupted the Price is Right. New bag? Okay, new bag. He interrupted the Price is Right. I was trying to watch the Price is Right. And he was on saying, I did not have a relationship with that woman. And there was all this outrage because everyone was like, yeah, he did. And then shortly after he argued that, the blue dress with the jizz stain on it gave him away. He was having a relationship with that woman, and Republicans everywhere were outraged. They're like, how dare he? And there was all kinds of weirdness to it. Like, they're like, why is Hillary Clinton staying with them? You know, everyone was like, that's how you know it's not love. There we go. That was a long time ago before Hillary Clinton would one day run for president. She was so young looking back then. By the time she would run for president, she looked very different. And there were all these conspiracies about the Clintons killing people, and Bill Clinton was an R word, and he did all these terrible things. There were so many conspiracies at that point. It was really crazy. So what time is it? It's 5:06, and we have no more orders in the queue. Tonight's stream was pretty fun. There were no orders that were particularly huge. There were a lot of smaller orders tonight. But we did set up that Dark Raichu to be scooped up by Mr. C.S. Mann, so that's good. And, yeah, I think that overall it was a nice Saturday night. I think there was satellite dish, but not cable yet. I don't remember. But this would have been when he admitted, this was right before he admitted he did have a relationship, because obviously he was forced to once they proved it with DNA. But yeah, just before then, he was saying on, I never forgot this, because you had the remote in your hand, and you would click through the channels, right? Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 11. Every single channel was streaming him live, talking about not having sex with Monica Lewinsky. And he said those famous words. And then just like a month later, he's like, yeah, I did. Sorry, I shouldn't have lied. And yeah, it was like such a shockwave for everybody. Everyone was like, I knew it. I knew the Clintons were bad. Because the Republicans really didn't like the Clintons. They viewed them as sort of like not Christian or something like that. That was the problem. Well, in the circle of my family, my family's friends and all that, they viewed them as sort of like, sort of like this non-Christian ilk. And that was their big problem with it. Of course, that was one of the times in our history that I've been alive that the economy was doing so well that the government actually brought in more money than it spent. And that was the last time that happened, was under Bill Clinton. It never happened again. Bill Clinton would go away, and he would be replaced by a young George Bush. And George W. Bush, he was president during the 9/11 attacks, and then he got voted back in and it was really close, but he got voted back in because he was a nice, relatable Texan. Well, shucks, I'm George W. Bush, and we will stop the weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, it was a big thing. Was a nice stream. Haven't you been here? Good stream, but I want that cloud. Yeah, I want the cloud to go off pretty badly myself. Maybe I should make a short talking about all the breaks and how close they are, because I'd love to see the cloud go off. Well, guys, I had a lot of fun. I'm hopping off for the Saturday nighttime stream. It's like the Sunday night morning stream, isn't it? I hope you guys have a nice Sunday. Be sure to have a delicious Sunday brunch. I'm going to go kick the hay. I'm going to go relax. I'm going to go pet the cat. See you later, everybody.